This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
I'd like to punch him in the face.
Well, let's get back to it.
Oh, I see. The law-breaking, self-indulgent layabouts are preventing the police from carrying out their duties. Right. Well, what about last month? What was preventing them from carrying out their duties last month, and the month before that, and the month before that, and last year, and 5 years ago, by the way? And I think they're doing a tremendous job of conducting a campaign. We were talking about it all the time. We talked about it for about 3 hours last night. And some of these texts are still waiting for me to read them. James said, I wish the stinky rebellion would go back to Bristol. Brizzle? What's Brizzle got to do with it? Michael says, this probably in reference to people who came on and, tried to explain science. He says, why are all the people that know stuff so boring? If they were more interesting, normal humans may listen more. See? Science should come with cartoons. Or maybe puppy dogs. Then people would listen more. Tracy says, we're all going to end up underwater due to climate change. If only I could have brought myself to watch that god-awful Kevin Costner film, Waterworld. It might have been useful. Still, if you won't be able to broadcast underwater, then I'm quite happy to drown. I thought Waterworld was good. I think I'm the only person on the whole wide world that thought that Waterworld was actually a really good, well, not really good film, but it wasn't as bad as everybody said it was. I think people just got it in for Kevin Costner. This says, as a climate scientist, it's hard to hear the science says, as it's extremely rare that people have read our research. Often they have read a third or fourth-hand synopsis. As a result, the 10-word description that suits their very specific view is a long way off reflecting the reality. But as he spelt their, T-H-E-R-E, suits their very specific view, then I'm reserving my judgment about whether he is an actual scientist. And Israel texts, hi Nick, regular listener, great show, keep up the great work. Well, it's a bit presumptuous, isn't it? Setting me tasks at the weekend. Who the hell are you? Now, the polls are, they're up and down like, I can't think of a clean way of putting it, but they're up and down, believe me. This was 8 days ago. A new poll shows that Labour has been overtaken by the Liberal Democrats. What? You would believe that. They're back. The survey conducted by YouGov puts Joe Swinson... Well, that should have been a pop quiz. The leader of the Liberal Democrats. Anybody? Anybody at all? No? Joe Swinson. Whoever that is. YouGov puts Joe Swinson's party in second place overall on 23%. Blimey. They were nowhere a couple of months ago. Labour are 2 points behind the Lib Dems on 21. The Conservative Party remains in front on 34%. This was 8 days ago. Now everything's changed. In other words, all the parties are about as popular as catching a disease. No one can break about a third. But you know what, the Labour Party should be miles ahead now, except that this country is now a single-issue obsessive and everything gets viewed through the prism of Brexit. I mean, does anybody really know what they stand for, apart from not taking a stand, the Labour Party? The Conservatives gradually creeped up 2 points since Boris took over, which is a pretty small result, I think. 2 points, is that it? Is that all you can bring to the party, Boris? 2 blooming points?
Yeah. Wait a minute.
The Lib Dems have gone up from just 16% in last September to 23% now. Wow, that's huge. It's the Joe Swinson effect, whoever she is. And the party puts the poll puts the Nigel party on 12%. And that is a constant throughout all of the polls. The Nigel party is always on about 12%.
Nigel Farage is not fit and proper to be in government.
The Greenies are in fifth place overall with 5% of the vote. And for the last few elections, the Greenies got my vote.
Groovy.
Just because I couldn't bear to put my cross next to anybody else's party. So far, so good for the Conservative Party. But, get this, Boris Johnson was seen as a less capable leader than Theresa May at the same time in her premiership. You remember Theresa May, don't you? Yes, that's her. People thought she was doing a better job than Boris was at the same point in their respective leaderships. Wow. Maybe he needs to update his shoe collection. What would he look like squeezing his huge podgy feet into a nice pair of leopard print kitten heels?
Disgusting.
Only 36% at the time of the people surveyed by Ipsos Mori thought that Boris Johnson was equipped to be the leader. 36%. That's compared with 68% of voters who thought that Theresa May was capable of being the leader at the same point in her leadership. Wow, 36% for Boris Johnson, 68% for Theresa May. And Johnson's government has some of the lowest approval ratings on record, with 14% of voters satisfied with its performance. Wow, that is dismal. But what's remarkable about it is 14% of us are satisfied with the performance of the Boris Johnson government, yet 36% of us would vote for it. My mind is all of a boggle, is what my mind sounds like right now. But as I said, that's ancient history, that is. That's 8 days ago. Now, 5 days ago, this. Nearly half of voters want Boris Johnson to resign as Prime Minister. But he's only just begun. Here, get the Carpenters on the phone and they'll sing it to us.
Rock and roll!
Not picking up? Keep trying. This is according to a survey conducted by Opinium. 47% of people who expressed a preference believe that Boris Johnson should leave. As in, go. With great vengeance.
Bye-bye.
That's because they said that it was because of the Supreme Court ruling that his prorogation of Parliament was unlawful. But it also might be that they never want to hear the word prorogation again. It's a horrible, horrible, horrible word. I hate it. "47% said he should go. 42% said he should stay. So I think that's the will of the people, Boris. Ta-ta, see you later." And about half of us thought that the court ruling was correct, that the prorogation of Parliament was unlawful. This, let me remind you, was 5 days ago. 49% said that they were right, 35% that they believed the PM was right to suspend Parliament, and the rest couldn't understand the question because they were mesmerised by that nice lady's spangly spider brooch. You remember her? On and on and on she went. Will you just get to the good part? So that was 5 days ago, and that survey put the Tories on 36%, Labour on 24%, a lead of 12 points, Lib Dems 20%, and the Nigel Party on 11%. It's 11, 12%, there or thereabouts. That's as much as it's going to get, Nige. And now today, where everything has changed, been chucked up into the air like a juggler's balls. Apparently, well, this is according to the Mail, who are a flag-waving supporter, voters would secure Boris Johnson a majority in a snap election, as a new poll shows the Tory leader is twice as popular as Jeremy Corbyn. But you know what? As Boris Johnson has had 10 times the positive press than the bearded Beelzebub, that's not such a surprise, is it? In fact, it's a bit of a short result. Only twice as popular, but he's had 10 times the popular press, at least, by my reckoning. So in a general election, if it was held right now, the survey said 33% would back the Conservatives, 27% would back Labour, 18% for the Lib Dems, and 12% for the Nigel Party. And this is coming around about the same time as Boris Johnson is suggesting that there's been a breakthrough. They've gone into the tunnel. In terms of seats, they said that Johnson would lead with 332 seats in the Commons. That's a majority of 14. And that would mean 226 for Labour, 33 for the Lib Dems. It gets good at the end here. Wait a minute. Hang on to something firm. 332 seats for the Tories, 226 for Labour, 33 for the Lib Dems, 37 seats for the SNP, 1 for the Greenies, and none at all for the Nigel Party.
I'm a nutcase.
Meanwhile, a third of voters have got no idea who they'd choose. They said, What, really? Still? You're undecided? Is that because there hasn't been enough politics covered on television and the radio? Good grief. It's probably more likely that they said, you know what? None of the above. That is my absolute firm decision. None of the above. I'm not undecided. I'm totally decided. I don't like any of them. But, you know, in a general election, it's probably true that at least some of that third, should we say 86.5% of the 33% would have made their minds up one way or the other. And you know what they should be? We should all be propelled by force or at gunpoint, if necessary, to go to the voting booth. As soon as they erect those plywood booths and take over your local school, you should be making plans to go and mark your X. Or just scribble, mindlessly on the ballot sheet. Ruining it is a valid option, but you just got to go and do something. It should be compulsory in this country. I mean, if they can do that in Australia, where death lurks around every corner, we can do it here, where you're only likely to get bitten by a ladybird. Nobody ever died from a ladybird bite. And the EU and our lot are in intense negotiations. And, who knows what might come out of it. This is ahead of this Crunch Summit on Thursday. And it seems to me, and I'm completely ignorant about this and everything else as a matter of fact, but it seems like they're putting up the same plans as Theresa May had and was told no. And furthermore...
No.
Yeah, but now it sounds like a great idea, as though they just invented it. Oh, a line down the middle of the Irish Sea. Why didn't anybody think of that before? Theresa May's stuck in a little house, screaming the walls down. Diplomats in Brussels said that Boris Johnson had secured the breakthrough by agreeing to a customs border in the Irish Sea, which is the exact thing that our side said we would never accept. But now it's finally a breakthrough. Boris Johnson said the new blueprint, which he had kept determinedly under wraps, would mean that the whole of the UK takes advantage of Brexit. That's an excellent way of putting it. Taking advantage of Brexit, which means that we'll all be in the same soup. But when pressed on whether Northern Ireland will definitely leave the EU's customs union, he ducked and dodged and dived. He said, look at what I've said before and draw your own conclusions. Which is as meaningless a thing as I've ever heard a British politician say. What on earth does that mean? The data from this poll, which questioned more than 2,000 willing people, suggested that voters were more likely to blame Parliament or the European Commission if the departure from the EU is delayed beyond the October the 31st deadline. And newspapers are counting down every single day to a glorious exit where the sun will always shine and the grass will always be green.
Want to score some pot?
Boris Johnson was elected as the Conservative Party leader on July the 23rd after winning 92,000 odd votes against Jeremy Hunt. What's this? I'm just reading blindly, but it doesn't seem to have anything to do with what I've just said. I think I've tacked on some nonsense on the end of this sheet. Never mind, please disregard that. We'll edit it out later. But, blimey, what a way to run a country, eh?
Dreadful.
0345 6060 973. You can text 84850, email nick@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's at LBC. Friday and Saturday night at 10, Nick Abbott, LBC.
This is LBC. This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
I think he's betraying a quite stupefying ignorance.
Thanks, Boris. You're the best. Jane tweets, Corbyn is not doing well because the mums on Mumsnet don't fancy him anymore. Well, you don't like him since he's smartened himself up a bit? You preferred him when he looked like a bit of rough, like he slept in a skip? Faizan text, my dad drives an Audi and does not tailgate. Pfft, rubbish. That sounds like fake news to me. Stoke-on-Trent. Hello, Paul.
Hi, Nick, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Great stuff, yeah. Do you think we'll be talking about Brexit in another 5 years' time when obviously reaches 51st or 50th anniversary, do you think?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, probably will.
From now until the end of time. The ramifications of Brexit will continue forever.
Forever, yeah, and ever, yeah. We've got my subject about the climate change. Do you think the protesters, do you think they'll, gain anything from this Abbot causing?
Well, wouldn't it be great if they saved our lifestyle?
That's right, yeah. But
human...
it's dependent if you get the message to the politicians, isn't it, really? If they listen to them.
Correct.
Will they listen to them?
That's right.
That's the message I want to say.
Oh, is that it? Blimey, that was brief, isn't it? If the politicians listen to them, then it will have all been worth it. Absolutely. And I think the politicians are listening to them. I mean, Boris Johnson is peppering the Queen's speech, apparently, on Monday. It'll be all about, saving the environment.
Yowza.
He's become a hippie. It's going to be a tree-hugging Queen's speech. And it wouldn't have been had people not been yelling and screaming and bellyaching about it, because politicians aren't remotely interested in doing anything that they don't think will get them votes, which, amounts to, it all boils down to the same thing, really. It's all about the money, honey. If there's more money in trying to protect the environment, then they'll do that rather than ravage it. On the other hand, Tony texts, my ambulance had to go through an Extinction Rebellion checkpoint before I could get my patient to hospital, and they removed all plastic items before they sent me on my way. Totally insane, he says. Yeah, and rather unbelievable, Tony. An Extinction Rebellion searched your ambulance for plastic stuff, and they removed it all before sending you on your way. Rubbish. Darkpaw tweets, the Lib Dems aren't only about stopping Brexit, they're also about stopping the loan charge, a pernicious tax policy enacted by the Conservatives that has so far seen 7 people commit suicide, but no one will report on it. The loan charge. I don't know what that is. Leave it with me and I'll look it up. Jim texts, Nick, all this climate change business has given me an idea. Post-Brexit Britain can become world leaders in yoghurt weaving. Oh, God, it sounds very much like a listener with material.
No.
It should have been, oh no, never mind, I hit the wrong one. I'm feeling woozy. Bloomsbury, hello, Sophia. That didn't work. I'll try it again. Bloomsbury, hello, Sophia.
Hi, Nick. How are you getting on with the baked beans? Maybe that is simpler.
What?
Or else you can have them with sausages.
What?
Yes. It could be simpler. But anyway, instead of the lap dogs, I'm talking about black cats, magical black cats.
Right, I've got no idea what you're talking about, Sophia. What are you talking about?
My black cat.
You're talking about your black cat?
Yes, it's magical.
Right, and what's that got to do with baked beans?
Well, that might be the way out, but anyway.
Baked beans are the way out. Well, I'm certainly glad you called.
Simpler, but instead of sausages, you can leave the fish alone. But my black cat always scoops the fish out of the tank.
Well, I'm certainly glad to hear that.
Even though she's well fed and has her own personalised cat feed and sausages and shrimps. I did have...
Hey, Sophia, what do you do for a living? You're a surgeon, don't tell me.
Computers.
Air traffic control.
Both of those. I work for lots of airline companies. Anyway, as far as the weather's concerned...
Yeah, there's a lot of weather, and it's mostly in Japan at the moment.
Yes, typhoon. So why are people so worried about their football matches? What about all the people that have been...
Yeah, and don't forget the baked beans. Okay, Sophia, something's come up, and I've got to go. Okay. Bill says, Dear Nick, you're quite the Brexit bore seer. Why are you putting this stuff up for me to read? Yeah, okay, see you, Bill. Bill's still listening, of course. Phony. Graham says, Corbyn has too much history with the IRA and other terror groups. He is an apologist for too many unsavoury regimes and has done little to kick anti-Semites out of his party, hardly a candidate for a popularity contest. What, you mean as opposed to the Conservative Party that has sold weapons of mass destruction to the Saudi Arabians, with which they bombed schools and hospitals? Is that the comparison you're making? I can't read that one because it's got a swear word in it. Really, are you on your best behaviour at the moment? My glamorous assistant's gone rogue. And Katie says the reason Labour aren't way out in the front is primarily because of their extreme leader. If Labour had Keir Starmer in charge, the ratings would skyrocket. They just need a more central and reasonable leader. Plus, Keir Starmer does give good hair. I don't know how he gets it to do that. It's a miracle of tress work. Catford, hello, Steve. Oh, wait a minute. There it is, Steve.
What? Hello.
Yes, Steve.
Yes. Keir Starmer's hair. I mean, you've distracted me. I was going to talk about serious things, but
it's like he makes it out of a Jello mould. How does he do that?
Why is he Sir as well? I mean,
why is he what?
Why, he's Sir. Sir.
Oh, why is he a Sir? Right.
Yes, I don't know why.
You just get to hang around. You get to hang around long enough, and they give you a funny title and a badge.
He's only about 28. I mean, God's sake. But anyway, Brexit is the worst thing that's happened to this country.
Ever.
Or might happen to this country. I think for about 40 years or
well,
50
what happened?
years,
What happened 40 years ago that was so bad?
Well, we joined. That was pretty good. So I think it's just awful. I think it's enabled bigots, racists, xenophobes, unpleasant, right-wing, nasty people. Yeah. It's given them a voice. And I'm not saying all people that voted.
Well, I think it's actually instructional in that regard. I think it's instructional because people thought that, we've kicked racism out of football and we're all together as one and everybody's tolerant and peaceful and nice. And I always thought, oh, no, we're not. We're absolutely boiling with rage inside and everybody hates everybody else. And this has proven it true.
It has, and it's no use denying it. I mean, I've been kind of unscientifically following this for years, and the people.
What does that mean? You've been unscientifically following it?
Well, listening, reading, reading. looking at various media and talking to people, real people. You know what people are like.
Yeah, I do. I've met people.
You don't want to know people. They're awful.
Yes, they are awful. That is absolutely correct.
So my conclusion is, unscientifically, is that Brexit is dreadful. It's a dreadful thing that we've done.
Imagine what we'd have done over the last 3 years if we hadn't all been obsessed with this one topic.
Yeah, I know. We could have. I don't know. We could have got Steely Dan to the top of the chart.
Nonsense. We could have figured out a way to make the sun shine more. We could have heated up this entire month if we'd just all concentrated and come together as a team.
Yes, and we could have killed squirrels as well, because there are squirrels in my garden.
Yeah, but only the grey ones, not the red ones, because they're cute and fluffy.
They're cute.
Yeah,
but they don't live in London, do they?
No, they don't, because the grey ones are much more aggressive and they've taken over. You know what? I think we have to. Okay, the grey ones are out of control now. There's not much you can do about them unless we go on a massive rampage. But I think that we've got to, at this moment, right now, there's not a moment to lose. Do ourselves a favour and get rid of the parrot menace, because they are.
Don't talk to me about parrots.
I am talking to you about parrots.
Well, okay. I mean, that was rhetorical or whatever. But there's loads of them. They began here in South London. Mm-hmm. Apparently, they up the road somewhere in Eltham.
Really? Right. Okay.
Someone let one
I want
out.
The name of the person responsible, because they're all over the blooming place and they squawk and they are also very aggressive and they turf our beautiful songbirds out of their nests.
Yes.
And they eat all their I've got no idea what they eat. Trees. They eat their trees.
And you know Paul McCartney's beautiful song Blackbird? It's got a little blackbird singing at the end of it. Yeah, it's not going to have a squawky...
No, exactly. Yes. They don't belong here. They belong up the jungle. Let's send them back with great vengeance.
Absolutely. Brexit for all.
Yes. And Brexit for all and exit for parrots. There, I think we've solved it. Good work. Thanks a lot, Steve. 0345 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's at LBC. Friday and Saturday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
I enjoy working with people.
Well, enjoy's a bit strong. Stuart tweets, talking of hair and eyebrows, did anybody see Andy Burnham on the telly this morning? No, I did not. In the morning? No, certainly not. And Ed says, Keir Starmer should take over as leader. He talks sense and looks tidy. Tidy? What does tidy mean? Is that some teen euphemism for, well, I can only imagine it's hot. Ed, have you got the hots for Keir? Keir Starmer looks, I don't know, he almost looks unhuman-like. His head is completely oblong, like it's square. He's got 90-degree corners on his head. Kind of like he's been made out of plastic. Weybridge, hello, Jennifer.
Hello, Nick.
Jennifer.
Get a grip.
What?
This is all ridiculous. Pull yourself and all of us together. We're British. So am I.
Yes.
I'm Northern Irish, of Ulster heritage.
R.
R. Now, guess what the motto was I was brought up with?
What the motto was?
Yeah, well, yes, the words.
I think your motto was...
Go on.
Keep calm and carry on.
Ah, well, no, that's a more modern one, but I would agree with that.
Keep your hand on your purse in a crowd.
No.
Maintain decorum at all times.
Oh, Mother didn't say all those to me.
Don't.
But that wasn't the most important one.
Don't fall asleep on a bus.
True. However...
How about no spitting on the top deck? Ugh.
Yes, I agree with that one as well.
There used to be a sign. Did there not? Wait a minute. Did there not used to be a sign on the top deck of a bus saying no spitting?
Yes.
Yes, there did.
I never did.
You could smoke, kids, on the top deck of a bus, but you
true.
absolutely
Or
could
anything
not
else you
spit.
fancy.
No spitting allowed.
However...
Yes.
My father was a loyal Ulster Orangeman.
Mm-hmm.
I am no longer that sort of person.
Right. You know who is?
Who?
An orange person?
A president! Can you believe it?
I've got a few of those because it's the Irish genes in us.
Is it?
Yes, so I've got some children with ginger hair, and it's beautiful.
No, I'm not talking about hair. I'm not talking about hair colour. Donald Trump doesn't have ginger hair. He's got a ginger face.
Oh, shut up! You're going completely off the point here.
Oh, there's a point?
The point is, I was brought up with the two words, no surrender.
No surrender, right.
I don't know who to. It's probably
what
the
if
English
you're
or whatever.
what if you're completely surrounded?
Pardon?
What if you're completely surrounded?
Ah, that's a problem. I was brought up with those mottos, right, by these loyal orange men.
No surrender.
No surrender.
Right.
Then...
But that's not a very good motto for life, is it?
Well, no, we're not going into life at the moment.
I thought you were giving me a motto for
the
life.
EU, Nick, concentrate.
I'm finding it very difficult.
Right. Then this Popper
Whom?
talks of not surrendering to the EU.
Who did?
The Popinjay.
Oh, that Popinjay.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Right. Now, he's surrendering Northern Ireland.
Well, let's not get carried away.
No, hang on. That exactly. Let's keep our hair on. But who does he think he is?
The Prime Minister of this country. Isn't that incredible? That is never going to sound right.
I've got to agree with you there, Nick. That is incredible.
It's always going to sound as bizarre as you-know-who being you-know-what.
A president!
Exactly.
Can you believe it?
Exactly. So let's pull ourselves together and get about our daily life in as ordered a fashion as we can.
Well, that's pretty disordered, I think, at the moment. That's about as ordered as we can be, disordered.
Nick,
So that's the motto. That is the motto that you say that we should lead our lives by. No surrender. It's a bit aggressive, isn't it?
I'm not saying we should live our lives by that.
Yes.
I'm saying that is what I was brought up with as my father being a loyal...
Right, okay, but it sounds like you're saying that that's how we should lead our lives. What are you saying then? You're just giving me a history lesson about your family life.
No, can you just listen to me for a moment?
Well, I don't know, I'll try.
No, please. You're misunderstanding me.
Standing.
Right, here's the Prime Minister. He's talking about not surrendering us to the EU. Right?
Yeah,
you're with me so far?
Yeah, but this is nonsense talk. Nobody's surrendering anything, but go on.
He is. He's surrendering Northern Ireland.
Right, but I thought we'd been through this already.
Right. Oh, it's been lovely talking to you.
She doesn't mean lovely. She doesn't mean lovely. She means...
Dreadful.
It's been dreadful talking to you too, Jennifer. You believe that? How rude. I had... my school had a motto. I distribute cheerfully. I still don't know really what that means. What does that mean? I walk about cheerfully? Well, laughing every now and again? Just for no reason at all? Well, things used to be funnier when you were a kid because things would happen to you for the very first time and they just used to be funny. This is why you laugh less as an adult, is because you've seen and heard and done everything before. But as a kid, you'd find the silliest things funny because they were just tickling your brain for the very first time. But after your brain's been tickled 1,000 times by the same thing, it ain't funny no more. But anyway, that was my school's motto. In Embra, I distribute cheerfully. Of course, I went to that was a private school. I went to a comprehensive in Essex, and their motto was, "What are you looking at?" Oh, yeah. That was their motto. It was written on our badge. Let's have Little Hampton. Rick.
Good evening.
Rick.
Hello. Good evening.
Yes, Rick.
Hi. Talking about Brexit.
Hey, Rick.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
It sounds like you. Yes, go ahead. Yes, Rick.
Hello.
Hi. Talking about Brexit.
Here's Rick.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm here. Talking about Brexit and talking about 2 points of view, mainly. You've got the Remain campaign that talk about Britain crashing out of the EU if they don't have a deal.
Yes.
And you've got the Brexit campaign talking about a clean break. And it seems to me that both of these points of view are mainly to do around the border issue with Northern Ireland, yes?
No.
Do you agree with that?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't? What would you say that is about?
Well, it is an issue, but the clean break and the crashing out part are not having a deal. But part of getting a deal is trying to figure out a way around this problem that nobody thought of before the referendum.
But surely the answer to that is obvious.
Oh, blimey, if only it was. What's the answer?
Well, if you think about it, the clean break, if you like, has got to be the obvious answer.
Well, you keep saying obvious, but no one is thinking that it's obvious because everybody's been concentrating really hard for 3 years now, and we still can't come up with a solution. So, what is the obvious solution, Rick?
Well, here's why I think it's obvious. Okay.
No, not why it's obvious. Just get straight to the actual solution part.
Right. Clean break without the deal, because the border issues then are no longer the issues of the UK. The border issue is now the issue of the EU.
Nonsense. It's because of our actions that we are insisting that there's a border. That's the whole point of this, isn't it? Taking back our borders.
Yes, and the whole point of a clean break means that you do not have to institute a border.
Rick, the reason that we're leaving is because we want a border.
We're leaving because, obviously, yes, we would like a border, but it seems to be a headache of how to distinguish what that border is. Is it going to be in the middle of the Irish Sea? Is it going to involve Northern Ireland? Is it going to be between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland? Yes?
Yes.
Right. So, if you leave on a clean break term, it's no longer the British Parliament's responsibility to sort that border issue out.
Of course it is. It's the border between them and us. Who's going to sort it out if we don't do it?
It has to be. Well, think about it. If you leave on a clean break, right? It's then there's no deal. There's no deal on the table whatsoever. So the EU has to sort out the border issue. It's not your issue. It's then their issue. Yes, they will agree something with Northern Ireland because that is where the border will lie between the Republic and Northern Ireland.
Yeah, but you said agree something with Northern Ireland is agreeing something with us because that's a part of Great Britain.
Northern Ireland is, but the Republic of Ireland isn't.
That's right.
That is ultimately where the border would be. It wouldn't be on Northern Ireland.
Yeah, but we're trying to avoid that though. But when we insist that there's a border, how can we then say, "Oh, well, we don't want a border"? It just doesn't make any sense. Our position on this doesn't make any sense, probably because nobody had thought about this before the referendum. It just struck people like they had just been belted like a dinner gong. Oh, yeah, the border. Right. When we're insisting on a border, there's going to be a border. We never thought about that. Duh. I don't think that is an obvious solution, Rick. Just running away and pretending that the problem doesn't exist is not an obvious solution. But keep thinking, and better luck next time. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday and Saturday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet @LBC. Text 84850.
I'd like to punch him in the face.
Twice. Archie says, if you don't do the weather, I'll super glue myself to the next grey squirrel. Well, I did the weather yesterday. The weather is the same today as it was yesterday. It's bloomin' raining. It's raining again. Graham says, my neighbour's cats are magical. They disappear as soon as I go in the garden. After years of attrition, I think I've finally got the upper hand over them. I'm an eco-warrior. I'll lob eggs and other missiles at anything that threatens the birds in my garden. Cats do chew through about 100 million songbirds a year. But they're so cute. Blogger Cab tweets, Nick, the pound has rallied to its strongest in 3 months. Have you taken your tinfoil hat off yet? Oh, it's the strongest it's been in 3 months.
Oh, fabulous.
We're saved. And Peter tweets, apropos of nothing at all and completely out the blue, Donald Trump has done such a fantastic job for the American people, and your caller sounds a bit deranged. Well, that last part's true, but which one? He says, President Trump has transformed things for people who desperately needed work. He's got billions of dollars back in America where it should be, says Peter, who gets all of his news from Donald Trump's Twitter feed. What are you talking about? And Mark says, let the EU keep Cornwall. Well, that is a good idea. I'm with you there, because it's just so far away. How can it be that far? How can it take that long to get to somewhere in this country? It's like 5 hours by train from London to Cornwall. That's ridiculous. Blackburn, hello, Scott.
Hey, Nick. Have you seen the Oliver Stone Putin interviews?
No.
No. And just it relates to my point about, the Americans, the corruption against Trump, what's going on at the moment.
The corruption against Trump?
The allegations, the right, impeachment
yes.
thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It just strikes me that they pick and choose when to enforce the law in America.
What do you mean?
They were happy during George Bush's presidency. They were happy during Barack Obama's and all the stuff that went on in Ukraine. The Bidens and stuff like that, they don't seem to be bothered about that. It's just about Trump. It's like they only enforce the law if you go off message.
Off message? What do you mean off message? Trying to solicit other countries to get dirt on your political opponents. That's called treason, Scott.
That's why I asked if you'd seen the interviews between Putin and Oliver Stone, the documentary, because
No, I haven't.
basically it shows that throughout the Obama administration, U.S. Government NGOs and low-lying politicians, Undersecretary for EU people, and John McCain were at rallies with right-wing neo-Nazi groups.
I very much doubt it.
It's true. John McCain was seen at rallies. There's footage of it.
John McCain tried to enact a coup over.
No, he gave support. He encouraged them. He said, "We're with you. The U.S. supports your." Seriously, if you just watch the documentary,
and you heard Vladimir Putin say this, and that's the way you get.
No,
your
he didn't say this. He didn't say this.
Who did then?
It's all over Consortium News. If you watch,
it's what news? What news?
It's a fact.
It's a fact. Oh, right. Well, you probably saw it on the internet, did you?
No, this was all over. All the BBC covered it. Victoria Nuland said, "F the EU," talking about it's about transforming the economy of Ukraine to favour US corporations. It's not about helping Ukrainian people. And what I'm saying is they were happy with that. But when Trump he starts pulling out of wars and stuff, they start to get upset about corruption.
Trump is not. What war is Trump pulling out of?
Syria.
He's creating a war in Syria. Do you get the news where you live, Scott? Stop reading the internet. God, there's so many people like that. Oh yeah, I read it on Facebook. That must be true. Aliens from space are affecting us by mind control. Yeah, haven't you heard? Peter says, oh no, I read that. Kath says, does that mean it was okay to spit on the bottom deck of a bus? Yeah, I don't think there was a sign on the bottom deck of a bus. I suppose because people who sat on the bottom deck had more decorum. It was people on the top deck were, generally hooligans. You could smoke, I think, in the back of the top deck of a bus. In much the same way as you could smoke in a cinema, but only on the left-hand side of the aisle, not the right-hand side, because the smoke would respect those limits. The way we used to lead our lives was just nuts. Yeah, but I think it was a £5 fine, wasn't it? Which was a lot of money in those days. You would really have to want to spit a lot. No spitting on the top deck of the bus. That's right. Kath says, my local swimming bars have a sign on the wall next to the swimming pool which says no diving, bombing or heavy petting. No heavy petting.
Disgusting.
She says, how's your phone? It's all right. What does that mean? It still works, kind of. Let's have, who's been waiting the longest? Southampton. Hello, Ryan. Ryan. Yes, Ryan. Too late. Bovington. Mark.
Yes, mate.
Yes, mate.
Yes, sir.
Mark.
Yes.
Get on with it. Too late. Are we running a delay here? What is going on? Are these people fully prepared? Hatfield. Hello, Pamela.
Hey, sweetness, how are you?
There you
You're
are, you
on
see?
one tonight.
Am I?
Well, I have 3 points.
Go on.
The squirrels, because I'm Canadian, you can actually barbecue them, and they're tasty and lovely.
Oh, that is awful, Pamela.
It's true. It's
People
true.
are going to be shouting at the radio.
No, it's true. And then if the house cats are entering your garden, you can actually order lion dung and spread it about, and the house cats will not enter your garden.
Well, I heard that, but where do you get lion dung from?
Online or at the zoo.
The zoo.
Yeah, at the zoo.
Yeah, if
And-
you
and-
just
and
nip
what
over.
do you think?
You
What
just,
do you think?
Wait a minute.
What?
God, you're loud. Has anybody ever
Am
said
I?
that to you? Oh, a little bit loud. Yeah, like she's screaming at me.
Really?
Yeah, just calm down, Pamela. Are all Canadians like this?
No, we're just happier and funnier
Than
the Americans.
Oh, right. Then you're coarse neighbours. Yes.
What if Spitting Image returned and had a puppet of Putin?
Well, I think Spitting Image is returning, and it's got a puppet.
They
of
should
Putin.
have a puppet of Putin. Why don't you get online with them? You'd be hoot.
Get online with them.
you should have a puppet of yourself.
Then I'd be able to play with myself all day long.
Disgusting.
Yeah, that's
Well,
quite
making
right.
love alone is no fun, but it's safe.
Well, if you say so, Pamela, maybe you're not doing it right. But that's for another show. Does any of this show make sense so far?
No.
Not really. 0345 6060 973. Maybe this guy's ready now. Well, I guess we'll find out. Bovington. Mark.
Yes, sir.
Mark.
Yes.
Oh, my God, Mark. Please just say what it is you called in to say.
Well, I've called in to talk about Brexit.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you. How are you today, my young man?
I'm. It feels like I'm drowning here, Mark. Turn your radio off, and then you won't hear what you said 7 seconds ago, which is what you should have been told before you actually got through to me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine, thank you, sir.
I didn't ask. Go on.
Okay. Basically, last night there was a bit of a debate about helmets, but I'm not interested in that.
No, coincidentally, me either.
No, neither am I.
Well, neither am I. But
No.
I certainly am glad that you mentioned it.
Yeah, purely on the fact, my learned friend, that
I blame myself. Maybe I'm not doing this show right.
No, you're doing it okay.
No, okay, at best. I take full responsibility for this call. Go ahead.
Okay, Brexit. At this moment in time,
basically,
I think Boris Johnson is doing the best that anybody could do.
Well, he's doing the best that he can do.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Which is not necessarily the same thing as the best that anybody could do. Theresa May was doing a better job. So said people 8 days ago.
Yes, sir. I totally agree. And they bullied her.
Yeah, they did. And now she gets to sit on the back benches and glower at them.
Yes, Matt. Yes, sir. Yeah, they bullied a lady. But with Boris...
Yes.
Okay, we all know Boris. He's a gentleman.
Is he?
Same with me. I went to a private school.
A gentleman? Well, I'm not sure about that. I don't think we're all in concord on that issue. He's a man, I suppose, but a gentleman? No, I don't know. I'll have to look that up in the dictionary. Anyway, it's been inspirational talking to you, Mark, and please don't call me again. I'm begging you. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. What I'll do is I'll come back and I'll try to figure out what the hell is going on.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbott.
What the hell is going on?
Good question, Donny. It's a mystery, as Toya used to say. 0345 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Now, this came out yesterday. Finally, somebody is doing something about it, or suggesting on her way out that she's going to do something about it. As she says,
bye-bye,
she's going to do something about it. The country's chief medical officer said in her final report, eating or drinking on trains and buses should be banned. Yeah, no mind about spitting. Eating and drinking banned too. Should be banned, eating and drinking on trains, in a bid to end Britain's mindless snack culture. This is Professor Dame Sally Davis. She said, Professor Dame Sally Davis called for extra taxes as well on sugary and unhealthy foods. Because telling people that they shouldn't eat this, that and the other ain't making no difference whatsoever. Because we're all increasing in size. I think the entire human race is changing shape. It's like we're becoming a different species. Professor Dame Sally says, and, by the way, there is nothing like a dame. Nothing in the world.
Rock and roll!
She said chocolates and crisps should be put in plain packaging to reduce temptation, as has also happened for cigarettes. And plus, I would imagine, though, the next step would be to put horrible pictures of icky things on the outside of crisps and chocolates. And why, by the way, aren't chocolate-covered crisps a thing yet? I pay my taxes. Why can't I have them? Now, plain packaging for chocolates and crisps, and extra taxes on sugary and unhealthy foods, and no eating and drinking on trains and buses. That'll fix it. Professor Dame Sally says that children are drowning in a flood of unhealthy food and drink options. And she's got a point, because obesity has doubled in 3 decades. Doubled in 30 years. She said, people are suggesting, of course, that this is a step too far. This is the nanny state. She should mind her own blooming business. It's got nothing to do with her. Even though she's the chief medical officer on her way out. This is what she's suggesting. Critics said the measures were the silliest and most authoritarian ideas yet. And now, these critics wouldn't be burger and crisp and chocolate manufacturers, would they? Or in the pay of? It's worth knowing. Professor Dame's proposals include an extension on the sugar tax to cover milkshakes. Ooh, so yummy. And flavoured coffees. And an overhaul of VAT so that unhealthy food-like products are all covered. Covered in chocolate. No, I mean extra taxes. This report says that taxes should be introduced on snacks, or they be sold in plain packaging unless their sugar content is dramatically reduced within 2 years. And the only thing that is getting the food manufacturers to cut back on the sugar was this sugar tax. And of course, Boris is completely against it, which is mystifying, really.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
He looks like he could drop a few pounds himself. No offence. Professor Dame Sally said bold action was needed because children were on average consuming 3 unhealthy snacks and drinks a day. And that's weird. I thought 3, God, that's a lot. And then I remembered that's exactly what I used to do. And everybody that I used to know at school. And we would get a bag of chips down, because I was in Edinburgh, so we'd go down the grass market, and get a bag of chips with brown sauce in the Edinburgh manner. Do you want sauce on it? Yes, I do. And we'd have a bag of crisps mid-morning and some chocolate-like product on the way home. And in my entire school, there was one fat kid. One. I remember him well. Now it's the other way around. You're lucky to find one thin kid at school. So it is something weird that's happening, isn't it? And I don't believe it's the amount of exercise that people do. I mean, people will say, oh, well, the reason is the internet. People are staring at the internet all day. But we had a thing, I don't know if you can remember this, kids. Ask an older person about it. We used to have a thing called books. You remember them? They had pages with words written on them. Books. Yeah, people used to sit down all day long reading books or comics. Or watching TV. We still had television, even though there was only 3 channels and nothing on it. But, you know, the pictures were moving and mesmerising. Sometimes in colour. I remember the first colour TV we ever had. I was just beside myself. It was so exciting. And this was in an era when not everybody had a colour TV. And the only thing that was on, I vividly remember this, the only thing that was on during the day, because the other channels didn't start during the day. They started at 6. And we'd probably get a lot more done as a country if TV did not start during the day. It all started at 6. And maybe never on a Tuesday. I think one of the Scandi countries did that, didn't they? There was no television on Tuesdays or something like that. You know, one of the perfect 6-foot blonde countries. Sounds like something they'd do. The only thing that was on when we got our colour television delivered, and I turned it on, absolutely rapt with, thrilled I was. The only programme that was on during the day was cricket.
Boring!
Cricket! So it was just this vivid acid green with fuzzy little white blobs moving about. Dreadful. Anyway, that's got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. This is Dame Sally, Professor Dame Sally, who said that snacks should be sold in plain packaging in order to stop kids being, so large and round. I mean, talking about blobs. And she wants an outright ban on consumption of any type of food or drink on all urban public transport. And you know what? She is absolutely correct. You know, I was on a train. I have mentioned this on air when it happened. Last year I was on a train and two numpties got on. A husband, I assume they were husband and wife. They were in their 30s and they were dressed like business persons. They'd just come from a business meeting. And they were on a packed train going back up north, and it was standing room only. They'd got a seat on one of these 4-seat tables. The two of them were on the outside. They just got on as the train was just about to leave the station, and everybody was rushing on because the man was blowing his whistle. And they just got on and sat in the aisle seats of a 4-seat table. And they brought with them an entire Chinese meal in bags. I'm not kidding. It was the stinkiest food I've ever smelt in my life.
Disgusting.
And it absolutely reeked the place out. And they just started unloading these boxes. And they had the rice and all the goopy, stinky stuff that comes with a Chinese meal. They must have had about 5 boxes. And they just started tucking in. I couldn't believe my eyes. It reeked. And the woman who was sandwiched by the window said something of the order of, "That's quite rude, you know," and got up to leave, which meant that she would have to stand for however long her journey was. There were no more seats. "That's quite rude, you know," she said. And the bloke said, "Rude? Well, I've never heard that before." Never heard that before. I wanted to put him in a car crusher, but that would probably be considered against the law. You can't do anything these days. So I said, "You've never heard that before," and gave him a withering look. That'll teach him. I wanted to stick his face in his chicken chow mein, grab him by the back of his head and stick his stupid fat face in his egg foo young. But I didn't do that because I'm a good boy, I am. You know, plus there's the being scared part. So anyway, this Professor Dame Sally says it's about changing the culture so that snacking is no longer normalised. But we've always snacked. What is the most British of all meals? Tea at 3. Now, if that ain't a snack, I don't know what is. It's the thing between luncheon munchin and dinner, which is just before supper. We do nothing but snack. Snacking is in our DNA, being British. I mean, is there any other country in the world that stops for tea at 3? I mean, how hungry are you, for crying out loud? You can't wait from lunch till dinner. But anyway, she says that snacking is bad. And she says that we need to make the bus, the train and the tube a safe place for children. Yeah, and less smelly for adults too. She said it's a mindless way to eat, and seeing other people eating does prompt you to think about eating. And she pointed to Japan. Is Japan still there? We better check. She said Japan has one of the lowest rates of obesity in the world and bans snacking on local transport. I didn't know that. I'm not sure that the two are necessarily connected. I mean, one does not perhaps lead to the other. That snacking on local transport would lead to a thinner society, but it'll probably help. I mean, we are obsessed with oral pleasure. Just constantly stuffing things in our big fat faces. I mean, it's not coffee, it's not tea, it's cake and chocolate biscuits and crisps, and constantly snacking and snacking. So she's right about that. It is mindless. Oh, but it's so yummy. And you know what? Here's another thing that we should ban on public transport. Women filing their nails. That drives me to distraction. Just sitting there, just creating clouds of nail dust that covers us all. Or brushing their hair. I mean, them putting makeup on, that's one thing. I don't mind. It seems a bit odd. And it's occasionally amusing when, we go over a bump and they get it wrong. But creating big dust clouds of their detritus, well, that is horrible. How can they not know it's horrible? It's like people taking their shoes and socks off and putting their feet on the seats. She called for a calorie cap on meals sold in cafes and restaurants. Now, and that's where I part company with Dame Sally. I mean, she can have the calories printed on the menu. That's fine. But eating out once a year is the only pleasure I've got left. Don't take my pizza away from me, Professor. She says only low-calorie food and snacks low in salt and fat and sugar should rather be offered at major sports events, which is also a good idea. I mean, get fans to eat like their idols while supporting their idols. Premier League footballers don't eat pies and drink pints. That's why they look like that, and we look like this. The only six-pack we've got is the one you find in the fridge. And why the panic? Well, 1 in 3 children ending primary school are overweight or obese. That's incredible. 1 in 3. You look at a picture of a crowd from 30, 40 years ago, there are no fat people in it. 0. You could put all the fat on everybody in the crowd in a margarine tub. No one had an ounce on them. Now, ending primary school, 1/3 of kids are overweight or obese. It's become the new normal. It's also become the new normal for children to suffer weight-related diseases which could shorten their lives and, in the process, cost us billions and billions and billions of pounds. And as she's saying this, all of which sounds perfectly normal and sensible to me, people are pushing back like mad. Oh, this woman's crazy, they're saying. She'd mind her own blooming business. She's the chief medical officer. It is her business. And Boris Johnson's pushing back because he thinks that it's going to be politically advantageous for him to say, the nanny state, and it's got nothing to do with us, and you should go ahead and just gorge. But it's not healthy for individuals. It's not healthy for society. I mean, unless I'm getting all this wrong, in which case you must correct me. And it's almost as though politicians have had their ear bent by generous donations from multinationals whose profits would be lessened if their poisonous treats would be taxed more. But I don't think our politicians would be swayed by that, would they?
Yeah. Wait a minute.
It's hard to believe. On Thursday, Dame Professor Sally said the government had a moral responsibility to act instead of putting the food industry's profits first. And if the government fails to take such actions, they would be sending out a message that they did not put children first, she said. Well, guess what? They don't. I mean, just look at the collapse in funding for education over the last 10 years. The review says there's 1.2 million obese children in England, with excess weight responsible for up to 120,000 cases of childhood asthma and 650,000 cases of fatty liver disease in children. Struth. Another thing is portion size. If you look at an old plate, go to your granny's house and get her plates out. They're minute. A dinner plate looks like a teacup saucer. Pizza and crisp sizes have increased by 50% in the last 30 years. I know the general impression is that the snack sizes have decreased while the prices have remained the same. But that's only recently. If you look over 30, 40 years ago, it's like we're sticking our nose in giant buckets of food. Walking along like horses we are. So she's described as being the chief of the nanny state and a meddler, which is like theatregoers shushing someone who's shouting fire as the smoke obscures the stage. Oh, you meddling. Food manufacturers aren't going to change what's profitable without government action, and the government seems unwilling to upset multinational corporations. Maybe because they're potential donors. And that, if you think that is a wicked thought, and you should be ashamed of yourself. 0345 6060 973 Friday or Saturday night at 10. Nick Abbot, LBC.
This is LBC. This is LBC with Nick Abbott.
Hello, boys. Let's have Hackney. Hello, Richard.
Hello, Nick. I agree with you about the snacks, although I have to say that one of the only reasons for living in New Zealand is that they have a biscuit there, which is like a Garibaldi, but covered in chocolate.
A Garibaldi? Remind me, what's a Garibaldi again?
A Garibaldi biscuit. You know, it's the one with all the sultanas and the biscuit bits. Have you never had a Garibaldi biscuit?
No, wait, it's like a sandwich of dates, isn't it? Dates?
It's sultanas, I think.
Garibaldi. It's like a tube of biscuit around mushed fruit.
No. You're thinking of Fig Newton.
That's right. Yes. Wow,
Garibaldi are long and flat.
You are an expert.
Garibaldi are long and flat, and you get about 4 of them in a packet, but they're huge.
Right. Oh, I think I know what you mean, yeah.
Try one.
It has the same shape as like a cheese cracker.
Yes.
Right. Covered in chocolate.
Yes.
Wow.
I know.
Almost worth the plane trip to New Zealand.
Almost, but not quite. Snack.
Yes.
You've been to Italy.
What?
Oh, are you there?
Yes, I am now.
Okay, I'm still with you. You've been to Italy.
Yes, I have.
When you go into a supermarket there, the chocolate is sort of like on one bit of a shelf. They have some chocolate. If you want to find sweets, they're there. You can find them. But what they have is big fruit stalls.
Yeah.
So if your kids say, I want something, you go along and you buy them a peach. And you give the peach to the kids, and it's huge, and it's soft, and it's delicious, and it's juicy, and they love it, and they eat it, and they're happy. You do that over here. I mean, go down to Tesco's and buy a peach.
Yeah.
And you get a plastic box with 5 small, hard, round things in.
Yeah, you could use them as cricket balls.
Don't take a bite in them. You'll lose your front teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, for your convenience, store for 3 to 5 days before eating.
Well, it's worse than that. When they say ripe and ready to eat, that means you could bang a nail in a wall with them.
Exactly. So what you do is you buy them. You can't give them to the... Well, here, little Johnny, take this, and in another 4 or 5 days, that will be really yummy.
Yeah.
And it's the same with tomatoes. I remember taking the kids round, and you could just buy a bag of tomatoes and give them and they tasted of something.
Well, they also were reasonably affordable. Tomatoes now are about the same price, pound for pound, as gold. Why do they cost so much?
They also taste the same as gold. They're absolutely flavourous.
Water, yeah, it's like red water.
Yeah. So this is because this is good for the supermarket. I mean, the supermarket don't want to throw away rotting fruit. So they don't sell fruit which is ripe. They sell fruit which is 2 weeks away from being ripe.
Yeah.
Which means that I've got nothing to give my kid.
Right.
If my kid wants
you have to think ahead.
Or a pear or an apple.
They almost certainly won't want that.
They would want it if they had a ripe one.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. It doesn't tickle the brain senses like chocolate-covered crisps would.
Well, yes, or chocolate-covered Garibaldi biscuits.
Ooh, so yummy. Now I want some.
Having been in that situation, when...
Where have you gone? Where's he gone? Oh. I don't know when they're going to figure out a way to make mobile phones actually useful as, phones. Eventually, I'm sure. So far, nothing. I think that there's something wrong with fruit. I'm aware that the fruit that you buy in the shops is not necessarily just plucked fresh from the tree. It was plucked fresh from the tree last year and then kept in a warehouse and covered in some sort of gaseous substance to keep it from ripening. I know all that. But what is it with fruit that you buy that is rock hard when you buy it? And they say, put it in a fruit bowl and it will come to ripeness and perfection within the week. And you do that, and it's solid, for about 5 days, and then on the 6th day it turns into like sponge. It's just this sort of mushy. Nectarines are like that. I mean, I know it's the end of the season of nectarines, but how are they? Do they become sort of a dry? It's like eating a bath sponge. Where does the juice go? Just curious. 0345 6060 973. Let's have Stretford. Brian. God, I'm not doing it very well. Hang on a minute. I'll get there eventually. Brian.
Bye, Virgin.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, could you hear me?
I can
you hear
now.
Me?
Yes, can now. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd just like to say it's great to hear you on the radio again.
Thanks.
Yeah, because Virgin treated you terribly, and I thought you were outstanding. Thought you really were back in the day.
I don't have any complaints, but go on.
Good man, good man. I just like to say there is a solution to this snacks and all that malarkey, and where I come from, there's still one fat kid per every 50.
Is there? Where do you come from?
Yeah.
Where do you come from? I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, it's true. And because we do one thing round here, we follow a philosophy of the late, great Frederick Bullseye. And it's simple. Get on your bikes and ride!
Okay. Remind me never to take that call again. Here is Wanstead. Hello, Sophie.
Oh, hi, Nick. How are you?
I'm super. Thanks for asking.
Sorry, I'm just... Oh, hold...
I'll put you on hold. There's something in the air tonight. I don't know what it is, but I'm not keen. Aslan, Hull.
Hey, Nick.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Fine.
Anyway, I just want to start off by asking you a question, and this is probably quite a fundamental question to the issue we're talking about. Whose responsibility do you think it is to, let's say, regulate behavior, like health behavior, what we eat and how much we exercise, etc.?
Well, of course it is the individual's responsibility, but the government also has a responsibility to make to make an environment in which it is easy to make the right choices.
Oh no, I totally agree with that. It's not one or the other, of course. Some people say, this is totally nanny state-ish, and I don't think that's necessarily the case. Although I do think this goes too far in some places. For example, I don't really think that banning eating on public transport is a good idea or that it will work.
Well, if it works for Japan, why wouldn't it work for us?
Well, I mean, she said that there's a link between, let's say, a public transport ban on eating and the healthiness of the population in Japan, but she's just saying that. You have to remember there's not necessarily a causal link there.
Yeah.
At least it's generally said that the Japanese diet is really quite a lot healthier than our poor Western diets over here.
Well, I suppose so. It's based on fish, I suppose.
Yeah, fish and rice and stuff like that.
They eat a lot of rice. Is that necessarily a healthy thing?
I don't know. I mean, it's not my independent assessment, but stuff like if you read something in the BMA, like the British Medical Journal, you'd find plenty of articles talking about that sort of stuff. And also, the thing is, I mean, you can ban advertising and stuff like that, and you can try and reduce influence on children from, these companies that clearly appeal to them.
Yes.
But the biggest influence will always come from the home, in my opinion. And how much can you do to regulate what parents do to their kids?
We regulate everything else. We regulate whether they can smack them or not, and how often they have to send them to school, and and so on and so on and so on.
But then you have to ask yourself the question: is feeding a child junk food, or is introducing a child into a world of junk food like Coke and all that stuff that people generally drink and eat, is that abuse, or would we consider that to be wrong?
Well, if it ends up by damaging the health of the child, then yes, it is. You've met people, Aslan, and so have I. They're not that bright. Let's be honest. The majority of the population aren't that bright. The masses are asses, and they don't appear to be able to raise their children anymore. That's absolutely true. I mean, for everything that is ailing society, I blame the parents. Kids are growing up and they've never heard the word
no.
Yeah, never heard the word no. And so they do anything they blooming well like to to their immediate to the ill consequence of them immediately, and to the poor consequence for the whole of society eventually.
Leading Britain's conversation, LBC, with Nick Abbott.
Hang about, Nick. Listen. Now, what I'm trying to say to you is this, Nick, right?
Right, let's see if she's ready. Wanstead, hello, Sophie.
Hello, Nick. I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay.
Doing my groceries.
Your groceries? Well, what did you buy?
I bought a bag of groceries, but then I went to my friend's house, and she has 2 cats, and they kept on looking into the bag.
Yeah.
And so, because one of them had been quite ill, I was just worried that
it was going to throw up in your bag.
So I had piles of kitchen towels, and I was cleaning the tops of the bottles, and my hands were occupied. So
you were cleaning the tops of your bottles. You know, every now and again, I think that I should maybe clean the, buy milk in a big jug, and I think, well, where's that jug been? I mean, has it been sitting out the back where all the rats and are running about, and the dogs are peeing, and it's raining soot down on it? I mean, how clean is that? Sometimes I think maybe I should clean the stuff before I put it in my fridge, but if I go down that route, then I'm going to end up like Howard Hughes.
I absolutely believe that all the food in our supermarket sitting there right now has rats and mice running all over the packets, because there's no way you can have a shop full of food and not attract rats and mice.
Well, I would imagine that's true. Yeah, absolutely.
Disturbing thought.
It very much is a disturbing thought. It's true.
But the thing it's true.
I mean, do you think about I used to work in a pub, and I know that all the bottles and the cans and all that, they're stored out the back in the yard out the back, and goodness knows what was running about there after the pub was closed and we'd all gone home for the night. It doesn't bear thinking about. I mean, foxes, the amount of foxes I see running around, and they're not the cleanest of animals. We know that, exactly. And I'm sure that they'd be absolutely fascinated by anything that's that looks or smells like food, which is, of course, where you chuck all the food detritus out the back. So they're going to be attracted to it, and ugh.
And the thing is, people walk around their houses and flats out of the kitchen and the dining room with food in their hand, and they leave a trail of crumbs.
Yeah.
And I remember someone saying once that 1 crumb is a feast to a mouse or a rat.
Well,
and I never
that's probably not true. A feast. I think it's probably I think it's probably still a crumb.
They're attracted to it, so I never have food outside of the kitchen. I never wander around my place with food in my hand.
Well, where do you eat?
In the kitchen.
You only ever eat in the kitchen? Well, right. Have you got a TV in there?
I don't have a TV, no.
What?
I haven't had a TV for about 7 years.
Well, what do you do when you're eating?
I just sit in silence. Listen to LBC.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense, yeah.
It's always a table for one, Nick.
Right. Well,
get the violins out.
I just love watching TV while I eat. I find anything else to be unsatisfactory, apart from in extremis doing a crossword. But I just can't eat and read, for instance, because it's just too annoying. You read a line and then you eat, and then you go back to the book or the newspaper, and you're back at the same line again. So I just read the same line for about 20 minutes straight.
I eat in silence, or I listen to always listen to LBC radio.
But I like to be distracted from what I'm eating, because like TV is perfect. If you're eating something and you're watching TV, then it takes your mind off the disgusting slop that I'm eating.
Maybe that's why people are getting bigger, because they're mindlessly eating and not realising how much they're eating while they're watching TV.
Very good point. Yes, we're not paying attention to how much we're eating because we're gulping at the telly. Yeah, good point.
But this thing about eating on public, I have to say, I'm conflicted, because on the one hand, I feel nauseous. I feel absolutely nauseous when someone is eating on the bus.
Yeah.
It makes me feel ill. At the same time,
but depending on what kind of thing it is, I mean, if it's cold food that doesn't smell, then that's one thing. But if somebody is eating a chicken chow mein, then that's completely different. That is horrible. How can they?
There's a lady on the bus in Wanstead. and she has a real bowl and a spoon from the kitchen, and she eats her cereal in the morning.
What?
I'm not joking. It's the absolute truth. Every morning.
Well,
that
now, wait a
woman
minute.
has
Does she go to the... Is it already poured and it's got milk in?
Yep.
So she walks to the bus stop with a bowl of cereal
I'm not lying.
in Wanstead.
Awful.
What
It's
number?
awful.
What number bus does she take?
No, I'm going to keep that. It's awful. I don't want to name and shame.
Right. Well, take a picture next time, all right? Pop it in the post.
When I was at uni, if I was getting the afternoon train, sometimes I'd have a sandwich on the train. Sometimes you have to.
No, well, you don't have to. You ain't going to starve to death. Nobody's going to starve to death but if they don't have a sandwich on the train going home. Just embrace the hunger, Sophie.
Yeah, this is true. Maybe I should listen to that. This is true. But
I think every single person in this country could do with skipping a meal. That's absolutely true. I mean, we're not built to just keep grazing constantly. We're not like cows. We're meant to go hungry every now and again. It's good for us. I'm sure of it.
Apparently, if we're eating all the time, it spikes up the level of cortisol in your body, which consequently has an effect on your pancreas and its ability to produce
whatever pancreases produce.
It's insulin, and that's why people are developing type 2 diabetes, because we're constantly eating, constantly snacking, and you're always in DEFCON 2 mode because your body knows that food is coming and it'll have to be processed.
Yes. Well, that makes sense, I suppose. But don't take our advice on your food consumption. Always contact a trained professional before deciding on what to eat in your next meal.
Well, I have to say, I hate cats, by the way, but my friend's got...
How can you hate cats?
You were talking about cats two or 3 weeks ago, but my friend has absolutely beautiful British blue hair cats. They're just stunning.
Yeah.
But even they didn't want the food in my grocery. They looked in a few times and then they walked off unimpressed.
Well, what did you buy?
Hummus.
Hummus?
Wraps.
Well, cats don't eat hummus. No wonder they were unimpressed. Did you have any fish?
No, but I had the chocolate bar with cranberries in it, so they didn't want that.
Well, I don't know. If you'd unwrapped it, I bet they'd want it.
This is true. But I think you're right about missing the meal. I think
everyone could do with missing a meal every now and again. Try it.
But the other thing, Nick, is you were talking about supermarkets and fruits, and I probably said this to you before. The first 2 aisles you encounter when you walk in are the fruit and veg aisles.
Always.
I cannot smell the fruit and veg.
Well, it doesn't smell of anything.
No, because it's plastic food.
No, fruit and veg doesn't smell of anything.
No, it does.
No,
when I was great, tomatoes smell of tomatoes.
Well, only if you get your nose right up on them. But if you're just wandering around the aisles, fruit and veg aisles don't smell of anything.
Well, now you wouldn't know if you're eating a tomato or an apple. It all tastes the same to me now.
Well,
it's tasteless.
Then you want to change your supermarket, Sophie, because there's something seriously wrong with their aisles. But yeah, every supermarket in the land has got the fruit and the veg right there at the front door, just as you walk in. And everybody breezes right by it and goes to the crisp aisle. Of which, and I've mentioned this before, the only thing that's got 2 aisles in a large supermarket is crisps. It's the only product that's got 2 aisles all to itself, which tells you a lot. Thanks a lot, Sophie. 0345 6060 973. You can text 84850, email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Let me just remind you about my podcast. It's a half-an-hour best of. I think it's 30 minutes of concentrated chortling, and it's called the Nick Abbot Habit. If you download Global Player from your app store, then it is one of the podcasts that you'll find on there. Just do a search on my name, Nick Abbott, and the whole show will come up, and the best of podcast, which is called the Nick Abbott Habit. If you don't do that kind of thing by apps, then point to your pewter at an internet near you and ask for it by name. The Nick Abbott Habit.
Nick Abbot on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
He is a very sick and dangerous man.
Sam tweets, Nick, you can get chocolate-covered pretzels. Ooh, he says they're just as fantastic as they sound. You can thank me now, says Sam. No, Sam, I'll thank you later. Mark says, at least people aren't blaming the EU yet for the suggestion that food on buses should be banned, because obviously the EU sets all of our rules. Blooming EU, interfering in our business, our snacking behaviour. Tower Hamlets, hello, Matt.
Oh, yes, hi there. I actually
Hello
think
there.
yes, I think that we should actually be allowed to snack on public transport.
Yes.
That would be fantastic. And also, I love
we are
to eat.
allowed.
Oh, of course, yeah, we are allowed. Oh.
It's a dream come true.
That's excellent. And do you know what my favourite snack is?
Well,
I like to get a chocolate bar, and I like to sprinkle coffee granules on top of the chocolate and eat it.
Blimey, because chocolate isn't enough drugs on its own.
Well, it
Coffee
is.
granules.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I like? I like to get a chocolate bar and sprinkle crack on it, which is turning it up to 11. How about you?
You actually tried that?
I like to cover it in glue and then eat it.
Oh, wicked. I always listen to your show, and I really enjoy listening to you talk.
All right. Thanks a lot, Matt.
I think you're really funny.
Okay, thank you. 0345 What does he mean by that? Funny? I am not. 0345 6060 973. David tweets, when I was at school years ago, there were only 2 kids in the whole school that were obese. I think it's all the E numbers and other chemicals that they're putting in the food. And you know what? I bet it is. I bet that has something to do with it. Because each and every one of those E numbers and all those things that you can't pronounce, so you list the ingredients of stuff that should only have, I mean, like crisps, for instance. It should have potatoes and fat and salt and maybe cheese powder or whatever. But it doesn't. It has about 50 different things in the ingredients, most of which are words that you've never seen before. It's like they've just emptied an entire chemicals factory over them. And each and every one of those ingredients, I'm sure, has been tested for safety, but not in combination with the rest of them. On their own, I'm sure they're fine-ish. But in combination with all of the rest of the things in the packet and all of the rest of the things that we're putting in and on ourselves, there are no tests for that. I'm sure that they don't want to test for the combination of things for fear of what they might find. There's something going on with the human race. We're changing shape. And we're all dying a lot of things that don't affect people that aren't living in as advanced a society. There's something seriously going on. Maybe it's underarm deodorant. I mean, if you think about it, it's a very, very delicate part of our body that is known for the largeness of its pores. And there is no minute of the day that we do not have underarm deodorant on. Because as soon as we wash it off, we slather ourselves with the new deodorant, don't we? Otherwise, the smell. Has anybody checked that? Simon says, I was a bus driver for 25 years, and there was nothing worse when working late evening and into the early hours of the morning, getting to the end of a route and going upstairs to have a look around for a lost property or damaged by vandals, and finding chicken bones all over the place. Chicken bones. What, like ravens have been riding the bus up there? Chicken bones all over the place, pizza smeared into the seats, the entire bus stinking of kebab meat, all the handrails and the belly buttons greasy from sticky hands. Wait, the what? The belly buttons? Oh, you know what? That's probably bell buttons. Autocorrect. Autocorrect is wrong. Belly button, unless he is actually doing belly button inspections, which is probably against the law. He says, no matter how much you say, please do not eat your takeaway food on a bus, they have not 1 ounce of respect for the vehicle that is getting them home late at night. Well, that is absolutely true. RPS EECT. Respect.
Correct.
Nick says, when I was at school, all the kids walked to school. Nowadays, they're all driven to school and back at 3:30. My whole town turns into a car park. I know that is an argument that people use a lot, that it's that kids don't do any exercise, and the proof of it is that they're all being driven back and forth to school. But, you know, when I went to school, we went by bus. Isn't that the same thing? We didn't used to walk much from the bus stop to the school any more than really kids walk from the car to their classroom. I don't think that's it. I think there's something that we're eating. The human race is changing shape. Have you noticed? Enrique, Waterloo.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
I just want to say, snacking on the tube is a no-go. Absolute no-go. Honestly, the amount of rubbish that's left on the tube, and honestly, you get on it, you just want to go from one place to the other, and it's littered, absolutely littered. Things within that, you know, crisp packets, sandwiches, and God knows, it should be banned. Absolutely.
Well, now, people say, well, it's impossible to ban that kind of thing because nobody would pay any attention. And they said the exact same thing when the ban on smoking came in pubs. People said, oh, no one's going to pay attention to that. It's going to be a nightmare. People are going to be sparking up fags left and right. But everybody paid attention to the rules and obeyed them from day one. So why not?
Well, I mean, smoking is a little bit different. It's a little bit easier to catch out, I suppose. But
well, not really. I mean, if people are sitting there stuffing food into their faces, it's fairly obvious that they're doing it.
Well, some of them are quite sneaky about it. I'll say that. But it's you know, you're there on a commuting to work. That's probably one of the worst things.
Yeah.
And people are absolutely stuffing their face.
Yeah, particularly if it's hot, smelly food. That should be illegal.
The food's the worst, and it's not even just the smelly food. It's if you know. They just leave it on the seat, and then you're next to sit down, and you have to move it out of the seat.
Mm. Have you ever sat down on a tube seat and felt after about a minute or so, oh, you know what? I think it's wet, because you don't feel it immediately. It just sort of seeps into you, and you think, now, if I get up and I check my bottom, that's going to look weird. So perhaps I just better sit here and hope that I'm mistaken. That ever happened to you? No. You would have remembered it if it had.
Yeah, to be fair.
Yeah, first thing in the day, you get a wet bottom of some mystery liquid, and you've got to walk around with it on you for the rest of the day. That is awful.
If I'm telling you, that's more drink related. If we're about food, it'd be more, you sat down, oh God, there's a half-eaten sandwich on the tube.
Well, that's easy to spot before you sit down. Always to check for half-eaten sandwiches before lowering your bottom onto the seat. But if it's a liquid, you don't know it's there till it's too late.
You're too right. You're absolutely too right. It catches you from surprise, that one.
Okay, listen, thanks, Enrico. Get a new phone. Awful. Or learn to use it properly. Phones should come with instructions. Tell you which end to speak in. Let's have Romford, Mabashire. No, that didn't work. I'll try it again. Nope. Oh, there it is. Mabashire. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I've got an answer to one of your questions.
Go on.
I know where we went wrong. I think in the 50s or around 50s, where people just changed. I think we got too much fatty food that came in the market from abroad, like America invaded us with fatness, like full of fat food.
Well, I'm not sure that's right. We used to eat bread and dripping.
The stuff we got out in the store right now, nothing compared to that anymore. Like, we got donuts, like, you can't even imagine how much sugar there is.
Yeah, and the fat. Don't forget the fat.
A toffee latte got so much chocolate you can't even eat anymore.
Right. Okay, you need to get a new phone as well. Does anyone have a landline anymore?
No.
No, it's all mobiles, and they don't work as phones. It's excruciating. Ragwin tweets, ban people playing music on public transport. Well, that's a good idea. That is very annoying. You sit next to somebody with those little headphones on, and it's just painful. What's worse is people just play their music on their phones without headphones. What are people like? I would never dream of doing that in a packed cabin, just listening to music blaring out of my phone. Again, it's people never having heard the word no. Andrew says, I am highly svelte. Why should I not be able to eat on the tube? I need a munch after work before I go to my dance class, says Andrew. And this says, talking about plates nowadays, I've not been out for a meal in years until a few weeks ago when I went to a chicken place. I was served my meal on what can only be described as a garden paving slab. Is this the hip norm now? Yeah, I think it is. Well, you were lucky that your meal wasn't served on a slice of tree, because serving food on wood seems to be a thing now. And you'd think that would be the last thing that a restaurant would want, because they're thick, they're about an inch thick. How do they clean them, and where do they keep them? I mean, plates stack, but wood, not so much. 0345 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday and Saturday night at 10. Nick Abbot, LBC.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Hello. Would you mind telling me what this is all about?
Yes, that nice man on the news, I don't think he's right. Okay, so the police are being transported to, as he said, babysit or something like that, these scrofulous oiks who are trying to save mankind. I think it is the most important thing that we can actually pay attention to at the moment. I mean, kids stabbing each other is a terrible thing, but taking police away from sorting that out rather suggests that they have been doing that in the past, whereas all the evidence suggests that they haven't. And to put the blame on the climate change activists for the police's inaction in that regard seems a bit rich to me. But anyway. And everything seems to be confusing me these days. The solution to the Brexit backstop, this border between us and the rest of the EU on the island of Ireland, the solution is the thing that everybody's already said no to. As though nobody thought of it before. Oh, we're going to stick a border in the sea. Haven't people said no to that before? And furthermore, they said no. But now apparently they're saying yes. Mystifying. It's almost as though Boris Johnson doesn't actually want a deal at all. The Democratic Unionist parties threatened to torpedo Boris Johnson's make-or-break Brexit deal if Northern Ireland doesn't remain part of the UK customs union. Yet they've said that already. Again and again and again. We know their position on this. So why is Boris Johnson suggesting, even having the nerve to suggest it again? He knows the answer. It's almost like Boris Johnson doesn't want a deal at all. I mean, who could have predicted that the Democratic Unionist Party would say no to Northern Ireland being in a different customs, under a different customs arrangement than the rest of the UK? Apart from anyone who had ever heard them say anything about the issue at all. And this is Nigel Dodds, as you heard in the news, the party's deputy leader. He warned that Johnson's 11th hour solution cannot work. And they said that in the 10th hour and in the 9th hour and every other hour this so-called solution had been put forward. They've always said the same blooming thing. Nigel Dodds, the DUP deputy party leader, said, R. And the DUP are supporting the Conservatives, of course. They're keeping them above water. It's the only thing that is. According to EU diplomats, Boris Johnson's proposed keeping Northern Ireland in a UK customs union and some form of EU customs partnership. As though that's a new idea. Hey, a wizard idea I've just come up with. I know it looks exactly like the same idea that has been rejected about 100 times before. But how about if I write it in green ink? So that would mean, if they kept Northern Ireland in a UK customs union, that would mean that the province would face customs and regulatory checks on goods moving between Northern Ireland and Britain. As in a border. But it's designed to prevent the return of customs checks on the island of Ireland at the border between the north and the south. But it would still mean that Northern Ireland was treated differently to the rest of us, which is the DUP sticking point. Mystifying. If at first you don't succeed, keep suggesting the same thing over and over. That'll work. Unless you don't actually want a deal. Maybe that's the plan all along. It kind of, this scenario does rather suggest that he doesn't actually want a deal. What do you say, Boris?
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Maybe. Scott says, will the food on transport will the food on transport ban maybe? Will the food on transport ban affect trains? Won't those pasty stalls and food trucks near the station lose business? Well, they do actually sell food on trains. Or do they not do that anymore? Used to be able to get a full meal on a train. I've never enjoyed that myself. I don't mean I've had it and not enjoyed it. I mean, I've never actually taken part in eating a full meal on a train. It kind of sounds like a good idea, assuming the food is all right. If you're going through the Scottish Highlands, something like that, boot fall out the window, and you're being served at table, that sounds lovely. But it wouldn't stink out the rest of the train. It doesn't mind. It matters less when you're surrounded by the smell of food if you're in a place where people are supposed to be eating food, and you are too. This says, could the increase in obesity in the UK be evolution in progress? When the sea levels rise and cover the land, won't those with more blubber be better adapted to an aqua environment? Well, that's a good point. Let's have Harrow. Fez. Yes, Fez.
Hello?
Oh, just in time. Yes, Fez. Oh, my God, turn your radio down. Aren't you told this before you come through to me? Too late. Coventry. Gary.
You're getting some good calls tonight.
Oh, my God, what's happening tonight? Is it a full moon, or am I hallucinating?
No, you're getting feedback from the old spoof because Nigel got treated and you were done about a year ago. So they're all coming on and spoofing you tonight.
No, I don't think so. Because if it was a spoof, it would be funny. But it's not funny. It's just, it's kind of annoying.
I know, but it is actually getting to you, though, isn't it, Nick?
Well, it's just irritating. Every time I go to a phone, people aren't blooming well ready. They're cooking their dinner or they're fiddling with themselves. Ugh.
Do you know, you're tonight, you're given a good reason why I like my car and why I hate public transport.
Yes.
It's one of the reasons why, getting on a bus or a train where you think someone's put their feet up on the seat or
exactly.
left all their dirty...
if there's a stink in your car, it's your stink.
Exactly. And why I try and... When I go to the cinema, I try and get on the back row and a seat that I think no one's actually put their feet up on.
or sat on, or even looked at. Yeah.
Because even in the cinema, you see them, they'll put their feet on the headrest of the seat in front.
Morons.
And you think, and then when you leave, the place looks like somebody's emptied all the dustbins down all the aisles.
And the carpet's so sticky, you leave your shoes behind.
Yeah. So even when I get on a train, I try and find those seats that haven't got anything in front of them. They've just got the board of the seat in front. So
well, first of all, what you need to do is go to the cinema in the afternoon when nobody else is there. That's the only time I would ever go to the cinema, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, when I can be absolutely sure there's nobody else in there. Hey, have you seen those seats that are they relax like a bed?
Yeah, we use them.
They are fantastic. They got 2 buttons. One is a footrest thing, and the other just puts you in a supine position. It is marvellous.
Yeah, we've got one in Ipswich, the Empire, which is really good, and it's quite good value. So I'm quite impressed with those.
Yeah.
You mentioned Keir Starmer earlier, and how he looked and whatever. I always thought Keir Starmer was that actor. Do you know the film's Nativity?
No.
No, there's Nativity 1, 2, and 3, I think now.
Really?
And, yeah.
No, I never heard of it. What's Nativity?
Well, it's a kids sort of film where they do a play, obviously Nativity play and whatever.
Yeah.
But Martin Freeman was the teacher in one. Martin Clunes was the teacher in another. I can't remember who done the third one.
Hey, you know what I like? This is my blimey, what's the phrase? My secret pleasure. What's that phrase? What is it when you have my secret pleasure? It's something like that, right? That's not the phrase I'm looking for. This is my cul-de-sac moment. I usually have one in every show when I try to desperately grasp for a word or phrase and can't quite bring it in. It's my secret pleasure. Well, that sort of fits. It's that Martin Clunes show, Dr. What's-It.
Yeah.
That is like taking a holiday, that show. I love that show.
I've never watched it, to be honest, because I don't watch too much telly. And
I watch an enormous amount, an industrial amount of TV I watch over at my place. But that is, it is really like taking a holiday, because it's filmed in the most staggeringly beautiful place you've ever seen. I don't quite know where it is, but wherever it is, I'm surprised that it isn't utterly, completely overrun by tourists, because it looks beautiful. And it's on TV all the time. It's like a giant advert, that show.
I think it's in Cornwall, and you want to annex Cornwall, don't you?
I'm just irritated because I'd like to go, but it just takes too long to get there.
Look, you don't work from Sunday right through until Friday night, so you've got all week to get there.
Well, that is true. I have no excuse. Yeah, you got that right.
Yeah. But in this Nativity film, there's a guy in there that wears an old anorak, and he's become a sort of teaching assistant, and he's a really weird sort of looking guy, and he looks exactly like Keir Starmer.
Well,
so
that sounds offensive. That sounds borderline actionable. A weird looking guy.
Well, he's a bit funny in terms of he ends up becoming a teaching assistant, and all the kids love him.
Right.
Because he's funny and he's
well, that doesn't sound like Keir Starmer at all. I mean, he's many things, but funny isn't one of them.
But he looks like him, and he's got that same pointy nose and shallow sort of look.
His head is completely rectangle. It's a rectangle. He's got 90-degree corners on his head.
Isn't he one of the Mallons?
One of the what?
You know, the one with the hair that's got a white piece in the front. There used to be a programme, was it Brideshead Revisited?
Yeah.
And they had a bunch of people that all had white bits in their hair.
Well,
and they were
like the Miliband chap. Yeah. That's very suspicious. Looks like it's painted on to me.
But I just think Keir Starmer, I have no idea how he became a lord. Can anyone tell me?
Just by hanging around there long enough, I guess. I mean, they give you a name and a badge just by hanging around long enough.
I didn't think you were allowed to become a lord while you were serving as an MP.
He's a sir, isn't he? He's not a lord, isn't he a sir?
Yeah, he's a sir. So why is he an MP and a sir? What's he done for the country?
He gives good hair. What more do you want?
Well, I just think the guy, every time I see him on telly, he just makes me want to throw a brick at it.
Right. Well, don't do that. You'll probably ruin your TV.
I know. But anyway, Nick, I just thought I had to phone up because you've had some great calls tonight, and fair play to them all as well.
Yeah,
I loved Rick from Sussex.
Yeah, sure. They've grated on me, no doubt about it. Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, Gary. 0345 6060 973. For some of the best calls on this show, you want to listen to my podcast. It's a half an hour long. It's the best of calls, or the best calls of the God. The best of this show, my favourite calls, all squeezed into a half-hour bit. And it comes out on Mondays at noon. There's loads of them up on the internet. It's called the Nick Abbott Habit. If you download Global Player, which is our app, then not only does it do all the stations that we've got here, Classic and Capital and X and Heart and all of them. You can listen live and you can listen back to shows, but they also do a load of podcasts as well. It really is something that can entertain you from now until the end of time. Global Player is on your app store. If you do a search in the podcast section for my name, then the whole show will come up if you want to listen to that, or you can listen to the best of. It takes about a half an hour. I put it together. It comes out on Mondays at noon. I think you'll love it. If you don't do apps, then point your pewter at an internet near you and ask for it by name. The Nick Abbott Habit.
Brexit. As the clock ticks down, follow it live on LBC. Nick Abbott on LBC.
Right, so what are we doing?
Thousands of texts are informing me that the phrase I'm looking for is guilty pleasure. That's right, not secret, guilty. Yeah, my secret pleasure is Dr. What's-It, off the telly. It is like taking a holiday. I mean, the scenery is just so staggeringly beautiful. If you lived there, you wouldn't be able to tear yourself from the window. It says, also, further information, Doc Martin is filmed in St. Ives. Really? Is that true? I thought it was somewhere smaller and less well known than that. But I don't have any information in that regard. But that doesn't stop it being a fact. I wonder when I'm watching it, because when a TV crew comes along, it's a massive amount of people. So I can't imagine what it's like living there, because they just must take over. There must be hundreds of people. And they're all out for shot. Where they go, I've got no idea. Shuffling about behind the camera. But there must be vans and lorries and trucks and trailers and caravans. And where do they all park, apart from anything else? Fact check. Doc Martin is filmed in Port Isaac. The text and the tweets are wrong. Incorrect. Wrong. Do it again. Harrow. Fez.
Hello, good evening. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to raise a point about the man who said that people dining on the train was ridiculously inconvenient.
Yes.
As a long-time listener, first-time caller, I would just like to say that it's not easy for everyone commuting from left, right and centre all over the UK trying to get into the capital. Sometimes taking an extra 5 or 10 minutes to dine on the train is just something they have to do.
No, they don't have to do it. They can get up 5 or 10 minutes earlier.
But sometimes getting up, as someone who's gotten up 10 minutes earlier and arrived an hour late for work, that's not how it goes down.
Well, get up an hour earlier.
I know that sounds easy coming from your side.
Yeah.
But
well,
getting up an hour earlier. So no, go on.
Well, how early do you have to get up?
So if I want to get into work for 8 o'clock, it means I have to wake up at 5:30.
Oh my God! Is there even a time such as 5:30?
Honestly, sometimes waking up at 5:30 and 5:35 is the difference between on time and an hour late.
Yeah. Well, I understand your pain, because I spent a year getting up at 4, and every fibre of your being wants you to stay in bed. So I'm sure 5:30 isn't any different.
Honestly, sometimes when you arrive home at around 11:30, and you have to be up at 5:30, the difference between a sandwich and not having a sandwich on the tube means surviving lunch hour, and not surviving lunch hour just means that sometimes you have to put other people on the back burner to just make sure that you're okay.
Well, I guess so, yeah, if you put it like that. Okay, you were excused.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks a lot, Fez. 0345 6060 973. We just had 3 callers on where Doc Martin is filmed. What they came and went? Were they just showing off? But they didn't want to speak to me. Offensive. I would like to know what what it is like living there when the film crew comes in, because I've had a film crew in a flat that I used to have. I rented it out to film crews, and I had quite a few things being filmed in there, and it's absolutely incredible how many people and how many trucks they come with. I mean, they just take over the street. There's trucks lined up for as far as the eye can see, and they'll shoot something that lasts on screen for about 5 minutes, and they spend 3 days doing it. It's amazing how much stuff and kit and people they bring with them. So for a whole series of Doc Martin filmed wherever you said it was filmed, I can't remember now, how easily I forget. It must be like the whole of London descends on this tiny, cute little village. What must it be like living there? I guess I'll never know, because the people called in to say that they lived there and then ran away. Let's have... how about Colorado Springs? Hello, Diana.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm super, thanks for asking.
Well, I've listened to all your funny phone calls, and yes, it is a full moon.
Right.
So you did pose that question, and yes, it is.
That does answer a lot of questions.
Yeah, I mean, that some people say it's a fallacy and some say it don't, but I really believe, today is proven, yes, quite to the point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just before you go on, Diana, you're talking to me from about 4,500 miles away, and this is by far the clearest line I've had from any caller on this show so far. You must be using a landline.
You are correct.
See?
Yeah, when I have a cell, of course, but a landline I find is preferable because, for one thing, on my cell I often forget to charge it, and then, oh well, no help.
Yeah.
So having the landline is great, and also we've had a couple of outages with the electricity, and this way I have one that I can replace on the wall that has a battery on it, so it still works.
It's just better in every way, shape, and form, and it doesn't irradiate your head.
No, that is right. And, no blue lights, no anything. No, we've had it for a while, and, at one time everyone said, "Oh, you need to get rid of it, Mum." My kids said, "Mum, you don't need it." And I went, no. But, and also as far as clarity, you're right. Whoever I speak to anywhere, usually the clarity is fine, where I have the same problem with my cell. Or if I don't have clarity, then the thing goes out on me and you go under a bridge and it disappears.
Precisely. I mean, everybody's got a landline. If you've got an internet, you've got a landline. It's just that everybody refuses to use it.
No, what do you mean everyone has you mean they don't? Well, no, because I pay extra for a landline as opposed to my cell.
Really? Well, yes, but if you've got the internet, doesn't a landline come with the internet?
No.
Oh.
You can have it. Like I have over here, I have CenturyLink, and then we have options for. They always want you to bundle. They want you to bundle the television, the internet, and the phone.
No, don't be trapped by that.
Well, it depends. Some work and some don't. If I can't get Masterpiece Theatre with one of them, I tell them I'm not signing up. So that's it.
Right. What's on Masterpiece Theatre?
Downton Abbey.
Oh, is it? Right. Okay.
Oh, what a question.
Well, I've got no idea. I never even heard of it. Masterpiece Theatre, Downton Abbey, you say? Okay.
Yeah, Masterpiece Theatre is the BBC special. I mean,
is it?
You've got Unforgettable, you've got Doc Martin.
Right.
All of those.
Well, so you know what I'm talking about, Doc Martin.
Oh, yes. And, one time they had, following the show, they had a documentary on how it was filmed.
I would like to see that.
Yes, there is. It's out there. I'm sure if you Google it, you'll find it.
Right.
But what it showed was the problems they have is trying to keep all the people, especially Americans, out of the way because they all want to crowd in. And it showed, you're right, there was massive number of trucks and, just going in on one scene, and everybody, all the visitors are climbing over the sea wall trying to get into it.
Yes.
It's quite a manoeuvre.
I mean, they do have big, wide shots with nobody in it. And I just wonder how they manage to get that done. I mean, they'll have a shot of a whole hillside and there's nobody on it. Whereas you think in the summertime, in a place as beautiful as that, it'd be absolutely stuffed with people. How do they manage to do that?
Very carefully, I guess.
And where, by the way, do they all stay? Because there must be hundreds of people to make that production happen. Where do they stay? I would love to see a documentary about how they do it. It's like magic.
Okay, well, Google it. There is one, and I can't. It was some time ago because we haven't had Doc Martin here in the States for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's finished or if they're doing another episode.
I think they just started a new series here.
Oh, great. Okay, we'll eventually get it. We're a bit behind the times here, But one of the things I wanted to tell you was you mentioned the reclining, comfortable seats in the movie theaters.
They are fantastic.
Well, we have them in all of the ones in Colorado Springs, but this is the funniest thing. When you go to sign up, you go in to pay for your ticket, they say you have to show where your reserved seat, and they show you the whole panorama of the theater. Well, it's very hard if you're top, bottom, or middle. And the other day I went to see Downton Abbey, the movie, and it was like at noon, and she said to me, well, pick a seat. And I said, well, the whole place looks like it's empty. She said, well, we only have 3 people in there right now. And I said, does it really matter to pick a seat? She said, well, if you don't, the ticket won't, pop up.
Right.
So, I just chose
These are the rules. You must obey the rules.
But it looked so silly, there was like 400 white spots and 3 green ones for the 3 people that were already in there.
Maybe if you don't pick a seat, you're not getting in.
I know. So anyway, they're very comfortable and they lay back and you can put your feet up.
I know. It's like a dream, ain't it? All right, Diana, I've got to go, but thanks for that. 0345 6060 973. Friday and Saturday night at 10. Nick Abbot, LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation. LBC with Nick Abbott.
I am not one of your fans!
Pete says Keir Starmer became a Sir for his work as Director of the Crown Prosecution Service before becoming an MP. Right. What, for doing his job, you mean? What a racket, eh? Just for doing your job, you get a fancy title and a badge. Keir Starmer. I'm sure Keir Starmer was a fruit-flavoured drink they used to sell at the cinema. Lucas says, I think we should ban people on trains. Humans are the problem, not the food. Well, that is a good point. Squid tweets, I don't know about eating on buses, but I was on a bus from Cork to Limerick where the driver had one hand on the steering wheel and another holding his mobile as he ordered a Chinese takeaway for collection. I think that should be illegal. Yeah, I was in a cab once and the guy had, he was ordering tickets to go and see a concert as he was driving me through London. He had the phone in one hand and he had a piece of paper and a pen in the other hand. I'm not making this up. He was steering with his knees. I raised my finger in objection, and he turned around and said, I've never had a crash. No, he must have seen dozens of them in his rear-view mirror. Birmingham, hello, Shirley.
Oh, hi, Nick.
Shirley.
Yeah, hi. I think I'll put you off the speaker just a moment.
My God, I'm on speakerphone.
Oh, no. Is it still echoing? No?
No. It still sounds
Still
like
echoing?
you. No, go on.
Okay, yeah. It might be a London thing because
What might be?
the eating on the bus.
What might be? Oh, eating on the bus. I doubt it.
Yeah.
Very much doubt
Yeah,
that.
because here in Birmingham, we're not allowed, although obviously people do it, because I've seen the driver arguing with somebody carrying a McDonald's, and the person said, well, what about people carrying shopping? Because they said, oh, you can't bring the McDonald's on the bus.
What about people carrying shopping? Oh, Struth.
And people have been thrown off for carrying open cans. So obviously people eat on the bus, but it is illegal.
Well, I don't know about illegal. It's frowned upon. Illegal?
Yeah, like a bus bylaw.
Oh, right, okay. It's against the bus laws.
Yeah. Also, probably what's also wrong in London is maybe this EU thing. I think the EU banned buses open at the back. So you created new buses, and in creating new buses, you didn't put any windows.
What do you mean
So
the
that's not
EU
healthy.
banned buses open at the back?
Yeah, remember when you used to jump on the back and hold on with, hold on to the pole?
Yes.
Yeah, they didn't want those.
It had nothing to do with the EU. It was our health and safety rules. No, it was because It was because it cost too much to insure, because everybody's obsessed with suing everybody else these days. So if you got off or on the bus and you fell flat in your face, then it wasn't your fault for being a stupid moron. It was the bus's fault for having an open door at the back and not assisting you on and off.
Yeah, because they said the disabled couldn't get on the bus, and there was this EU thing of disability access.
Well, it's not the EU. What's the EU got to do with it?
Yeah, they say we have to have access for the disabled.
It's not the EU has anything to do with it.
Yeah, because we wouldn't have done it otherwise. We just wouldn't have bothered.
We wouldn't have bothered allowing disabled people to get on a bus.
We wouldn't bother doing things unless we're forced by the EU to do them.
Oh, rubbish.
We just wouldn't. We wouldn't.
We wouldn't do the right thing unless we were forced to. What are you talking about, Shirley?
Yeah, but so we've got the new buses in London, but you haven't put any windows.
Windows? There's no windows on buses.
No, do you not travel on them? In London?
All the time. What are you talking about? There's no windows on buses.
They haven't put. They haven't got the windows they had before.
They haven't got windows on buses. Is that your position?
Come on, the London buses, the windows don't open.
Oh, well, that's different. They don't open, right? They do have windows, but they don't open, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, actually, because I think that those new buses, which were designed by that star designer, Thomas Heatherwick, I think that they're the best buses on London's roads. If we can't have the old route master, and I understand that they're way too noisy and they're way too polluting and dirty and filthy and so on, but it was a beautiful bus, an iconic design, and the only thing that's matched the pleasantness or the sort of pleasure on the eye of the old route master is the new Thomas Heatherwick bus, the ones with 3 doors and 2 staircases. I mean, it's the best of all buses. And everything about it was great, apart from, as you say, you couldn't open the windows.
Yeah, I haven't been down to London for a while. Where does the staircase go? How come you've got 2?
Well, you got one, you know those horrible square buses? They have the stair just as you come past the driver. Yeah. Well, they got that, but they also have the stair where it used to be on the old route master at the back as well.
Do people use them?
Oh, of course.
Going up and down 2 lots of stairs.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's better. More stairs, better.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's true.
Yeah. Can I make a serious point about the guy? Was he called Peter?
No, not on this show.
About Peter, who moaned about the black kids and the knife. There's a programme called Met Policing on Thursday, and they showed the Met unit operating in the Met, and they said on that programme, this is the BBC, they've got 100 units against knife crime. You know, the Tactical Support Group, Trident, the National Crime Squad are involved, counter-terrorist police. They've got 100 units. So why do they keep saying that they're not fighting knife crime?
It's a hard thing to stop, really, because you can only react to it having happened.
Yeah, they've got proactive units. And there's another programme today on the BBC about Hartlepool. There's no black kids there, and they've only got 10 police on each night.
Right,
and they're struggling.
Well, I've got no idea. I didn't see it. I've got no knowledge of any kind whatsoever. Neither is that the kind of TV programme I want to watch. Dipping yourself in other people's misery. What do you want to watch that for?
No, but the Met Police do have, and here in Birmingham, they're using the National Crime Squad, the counter-terrorist police, they're going to, if they're not careful, they're going to arrest every black kid out of existence.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to be the case, and nor is it likely to happen in the future.
No, but people say, they're not doing anything, but there are squads against them.
Right. Well, as soon as they get their act together, it will be. Then everyone will feel a lot safer. 100 squads, you say? Well, they should.
Yeah. Well, that was on the Met Police.
You saw it on TV. It must be true. Well, they should get on with it. All right. Thanks a lot, Shirley. I've got to go. 0345 6060 973. Let's have Cheam. How delightful. Sue.
Hello, lovely. How are you?
I'm super. Thanks for asking.
That's good. I've got a bit of a list, actually, because I've been listening to you, because I initially phoned up to say guilty pleasures, but I got pipped at the post.
Right.
And then I was going to say about the chairs in the cinemas that recline, which would be no good for me whatsoever, because within 5 minutes I'd be soundo snoring.
Well, the thing that cinemas do these days is they turn it up really loud.
Do they?
God, I went to see, I mentioned this yesterday at length. I went to see Roger Waters. You know, these event cinemas, the event things at the cinema. They do concerts and theatre shows and stuff like that.
I didn't know about that.
Oh, yeah, it's great now. I think that some theatre productions make more money from the cinema putting their show on to, worldwide on the cinema than they do for people actually showing up in person to watch the show.
Oh.
So it's a great revenue stream, and that's just going to increase more and more, which is tremendous. You know, if you don't have 100 or 200 quid to go and see a theatre or the ballet or the opera or anything like that, then you spend 15 quid, you go see it in the cinema. Better.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea.
But there was half an hour of adverts, and they were so loud, and I thought, God, if the adverts are this loud, then maybe I should have brought hearing defenders, because the concert's going to be pressing me back into my seat. But no, they turned the volume down when the concert started, but the adverts were painfully loud.
But they do that on the telly sometimes, don't they?
Yes, they do.
You can't hear the thing that's going on, and then the adverts come on, and you have to turn the telly
You have
down.
to rush for the remote control, yeah.
Yeah. But the other thing that I was going to say, Keir Starmer, you said about something to do with the cinema, and that. Did you mean Kiora?
That's right. Yes, that's it. Yes.
I mean, making notes.
Kiora, yeah.
Kiora. But the other thing I was going to phone up about, which as an aside...
I wondered if anybody was going to get that, yeah. Whether people would just look at the radio and go, what's he talking about? No, Kiora. That's right, yeah.
But the thing, I must admit, I was beginning to suspect you had somebody else's teeth in earlier on, because whatever you tried to say, it just didn't seem to be working for you.
No, not coming out right, yeah.
But the thing is, the reason that the point I wanted to make was about what's in our food. I know we're all eating too much, and it's probably the stress of everything else that's going on that's making people munch on stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's the palm oil. If you look, please read the ingredients on package. Even things like muesli has got palm oil in it.
Really?
Even the most healthy thing. I bought a turkey a couple of years ago, and I was going to use the juices for gravy, and it tasted disgusting. And when I looked on the ingredients, it had a great chunk of palm oil in it.
Huh.
And you couldn't make gravy. It was disgusting. So,
well, that's one reason not to buy anything with palm oil in it. And the other reason is that they're chopping down forests to create monocultures, vast fields for as far as the eye can see of palm oil.
Yes. Yeah, and that's the worst of it. I mean, the fact that it's making us all fat and awful.
Well, is that has it established that that's part of the problem, the palm oil?
Well, palm oil's very bad for you. It clogs up your arteries and everything, and I'm sure we seem to be getting to be a funny shape. I don't know whether it's the palm oil or all the additives they're putting in the
exactly.
meat.
I've said this for ages, and nobody's paying the blindest bit of attention. I say it, and I say it, and I say it.
Why doesn't anyone listen to me?
We're changing shape. The human race is changing shape.
Yeah. There was a thing on talking about obesity in youngsters, and I never, like when you get really old and you start getting a paunch, little young children are getting paunches.
Yeah.
That can't be right.
No, it isn't. So you can imagine what they're going to be like when they become adults.
bubble, bubble.
And if, of course, the supermarket shelves are about to be filled with the products that they sell in American supermarkets, when we get this huge and tremendous trade deal, then we will rapidly start to emulate our American cousins' shapes and sizes.
But Nick, let me tell you this first as well. They were interviewing one of the MPs on one of the programmes on, I think, Sunday morning, and she said that the standard of what foreign things are in food, like insects and all sorts of disgusting stuff, whereas we have a very high level of protection, in America, there's a level that they allow for all these foreign bodies to be in the food. So you'd be picking spiders' legs at you.
Oh, please! No more than 50% of this product is spider feces.
We get feces, rat feces, everything.
Come
it's
on!
It's allowed.
Well, now, is that just in muesli? Because you could mix it into muesli and nobody would notice the difference.
Yeah, you wouldn't notice it in muesli.
That's right,
It probably worked quite well, but I don't fancy it if I have a bar of chocolate. Mind you, I don't buy chocolate anymore. It's full of palm oil.
Spider feces is the cornerstone to any nutritious breakfast. That's actually a fact. All right, thanks a lot, Sue. 0345 6060 973. It looks like we've got a call from somebody with inside knowledge of Port Isaac, where they filmed that Doc Watson show. So I'll come to that one next. Friday and Saturday night at 10, Nick Abbot, LBC.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
Okie dokie.
Monica texts, it wouldn't matter a jot to me where Doc Martin is filmed. It's so boring. Oh, come on, Monica. Loosen up a bit. It's not boring. It's like having a holiday. I love that show. I mean, it's inconsequential and it's silly and nothing really ever happens. And it doesn't really matter which series you watch. You can just, flit in and out of any of them. It's not really much of a linear story. But it's just like taking a break, ain't it? It's always sunny. How do they do that? And with somebody with the inside scoop on that show in Weymouth, James.
Hi, Nick.
James.
I don't really have the inside scoop, but my mum and stepdad went on a sort of long weekend break to Port Isaac a couple of years ago, and it was while they were filming one of the series.
Right.
And they just said, like you said, there's trucks and vans and things like that all over the place.
Yeah.
And some of the crew stay in local hotels and guest houses, and some of them have even got these some of these posh, fancy American-style Winnebagos.
I can't imagine how they would get them in there because the roads are so narrow.
I know, but well, they manage it somehow. But
I suppose they do. They must take over for half the year because it takes forever to film anything. I mean, it really just takes an incredible amount of time to put a minute's worth on TV. Days.
Yeah, and especially if you got loads of American tourists.
Yeah, gawping,
sort of flocking around the fields and everything. They're going to have to try and herd them away for a little bit so they can get the shot. But the other thing which was quite funny is my parents went to a pub in the evening for a drink and a bite to eat, and there was a few of the crew sort of sitting down chatting and everything, and they recognised them because they went over to have a little look when they were doing the filming.
Yeah.
And they recognised some of these crew members who were outside this pub having a little drink and having a little smoke of something wacky.
I very much doubt that was the case. Your parents must be mistaken.
Well, no, there's quite a distinctive smell, and
I suppose so. Yeah. Maybe they were those cocktail cigarettes. You remember those things that used to come in like rainbow colours?
Oh God, yeah.
Because it made getting cancer pleasurable.
But I suppose the effect it would have on you if it was true then was they'd sort of be sat back in their chair holding the camera nice and steady and falling asleep, I suppose.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, well, thanks for the insight, James. Cheers, mate. 0345 6060 973. It sounds like an excellent place to go on holiday. Well, it looks like an excellent place to go on holiday. I mean, really, it's remarkable how beautiful this country is. I mean, you don't really, I don't really take it on board, in your general everyday life because you're used to wherever it is you look. But, God, you just get out of town and go into the countryside and it's a never-ending kaleidoscope of lovely. Hove. Hello, John.
Hello, Nick. How's it going?
Good, thanks.
Yeah, so the lady earlier was talking about palm oil and she was spot on. Also, soya flour, right? You'll find this in every packet bread on the supermarket. Soya protein and soya milk. These are known to stop the breakdown of fat. This is why every single packet bread has this soya flour in it now, unless you go to an actual baker shop. And bread wasn't made like this before. It wasn't bulked down with these soya protein and soya flours. And
I thought soya was supposed to be good for you.
It is, but a lot of it comes from genetically modified crops. So even the stuff that purports to be organic can have up to 14% genetically modified produce, cross-pollination. That's correct. Yeah, I checked with Alpro because Alpro are one of the biggest to jump on the soya milk market, and they're the biggest, one of the biggest shareholders in Monsanto. So join the dots. But everyone's switching over to oat milk and getting rid of the palm oil. All this palm oil as well, it causes inflammation and pain, chronic pain in a lot of people. And it's in all the chocolate now. The lady was absolutely spot on.
Well, it's not in all of the chocolate. It might be in that chocolate-like product that you get in the newsagents. But you want to buy nice chocolate.
Yeah, Swiss chocolate, correct.
Yeah, or Belgian, or some English chocolate. Italian chocolate's my favourite.
Yeah, nice one.
So yummy. But just buy better and less. I mean, you don't have to stuff your face with pound after pound of chocolate-like product. Get some good stuff and just, have a square every now and again.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot. Cheers, John. 0345 6060 973. Palm oil. Oat milk, he said. Ugh, that stuff's horrible. I tried every kind of non-milk milk. I don't know why. I just got it in my mind that I don't want to drink milk anymore. Because adults don't drink milk. The adult of any animal doesn't drink milk, apart from human adults. All other adults don't drink milk, do they? Any other animal species, they stop drinking milk when they're small. But we do. Love it, we do. And so I thought, well, I'll stop drinking this and see what happens. I tried every kind of milk that that's ever been invented, and they're all terrible. So I went back to drinking milk. And there's oat milk. I couldn't drink that. Rice milk. Hemp milk.
Want to score some pot?
That was the worst of them all. That is horrible. It's like somebody's squeezed squeezed juice out of their socks. Let's have Streatham. Hello, John.
Hello, Nick. Hi. I've been told to speak directly into the microphone by your producer, Chappie.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes. People and eating on public transport. It's just I've had 3 or 4 incidents with people, maybe 5 or 6 in the last couple of months, and I'm just not going to leave my house anymore. It's just everyone's so aggressive now,
Yeah. Now, when you say incidents, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, just today I made the mistake of going into one of these £1 shops.
Yeah.
And then one of the tills broke down, and the customer actually, instead of having a go at the cashier, she looked back to all of us in the queue and went, "What are you all looking at me for? It's not as if I give a bleep." And then obviously everyone averted eye contact, and I made the foolish mistake of saying to her, "I wasn't looking at you." And then we entered a bit of a...
Warning! You're engaged.
And then we had a bit of a spat in which I thought the security guy, he was quite a big security guy. I thought he'd sort of intervene with the middle-aged lady, but he just stood there rolling his eyes, and then afterwards said to me, "Are you all right, buddy?" Which made me feel like sort of a frail,
I think
snowflake.
I think this phone call really encapsulates what's wrong with this country. I mean, this snapshot that we've got right now just tells us everything we need to know, John. They have a security guard at the pound shop.
who did nothing. I mean, it really was worse a few years back. I don't mean to quote it in years, but a few years back they used to have like yellow vested security guards at the KFC, which is never a good good sign.
No.
But no, I mean today's instance. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I've dealt with worse, but after today, I had a nice little retort, which I mean, I'm ashamed to say I got from quite a infamous comedian's Twitter, but I just retorted back to her. I said, this is one of the reasons I normally shop at Waitrose.
That's not going to do you any favours standing in the queue at the pound store, John.
Well, no, I think she seemed she was in her own mind. That was actually taken off that was Jim Davidson had a bit of a spat with one of his Twitter followers, so I nicked that. But I thought at least it would get a few chuckles, but no one.
Yeah, it also might get you stabbed. Keep your jokes to yourself in public always. Just maintain silence at all times and don't catch anybody in the eye. All right.
This is the problem. I don't know what to do. I just one quick other one. I mean, this isn't food related, but I checked my bank balance, and then as I was walking back from the cash point, this was in Ipswich a few months ago, I saw some bank statements on the floor, and I just decided to just kick it along just for a laugh. And then one of these very well-meaning, he was a middle-class, well-dressed guy. He ran across from the other side of the road. I thought, what's happening? He bent down, he picked this bit of rubbish up, and he said, at least you could throw it in the bin. And I said, it's not mine, it was on the floor. He went, doesn't matter. Yeah. If you see something on the floor, put it in the bin.
John, if you play with it, you bought it.
Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot, mate. I've got to go. Look at the time. Now, whatever happens between now and next Friday, blimey, I mean, it's just staggering thinking about it. My mind is all of a burble. Just contemplating what might happen between then and now. But whatever it is, we'll chew it up and we'll spit it out then, eh? If you stick around, I do think that Steve Allen will set you straight at 5, but right now it's Matt Stadler.
Hey, lovely to hear from you, Nick. I just wanted to follow up where we left off.
What do you mean by lovely?
Well, it's a great pleasure. It's always fun to speak to you at this time of the day, even though it is about 1 minute to 1 o'clock in the morning. It is about 1 minute to 1.
Lovely. I mean, I'm borderline offended by that.
Well, I think you're quite a lovely man.
What on earth do you mean by lovely?
I mean, sometimes you're a man of few words off air, but I still think you're lovely, and I'd like you to come to my book launch and come to dinner and all things. Anyway,
what's the book about?
Oh, it's about birds.
No, we're supposed to say women these days. It's very offensive.
It's how to
Try
see
to
birds.
Keep up.
That's your own mind, man. Anyway, I've got a question for you. What are you doing? I asked you this yesterday, you didn't give me an answer. What are you doing to save the planet? Like, are you changing your diet? Are you giving up beef?
No.
Well, I think you should. I recommend it.
Well, you keep your ideas to yourself, mate.